If you are a woman living her best hot mess express life while simultaneously crushing it, and you're craving more clarity, purpose, and excellence, get ready because you're in the right spot. I am your host, Chelsey DeBruin-Colbert, and I want to welcome you to Season 2 of All Things Excellence, the podcast, where I'll be bringing you all the inspiration and insights your excellence-seeking heart desires. This season, I'm stepping back into chasing big, bold, and absolutely terrifying goals, sharing every honest step and misstep along the way. We're continuing our beloved Unscripted series, featuring live clarity coaching sessions with guests just like you, and diving deep into raw behind-the-scenes stories of powerhouse women founders I am wildly obsessed with, whose journeys will fuel your own. So grab your coffee, settle in, and get ready to discover just how close you are to the life your soul is calling you to create. This is All Things Excellence. Hey there, All Things Excellence fam. I know that you might know exactly who I am, and you might have already listened to the podcast episode that explains this modality that also talks about what happened that's teeing up this conversation. So if you haven't listened to the podcast episode, I highly recommend that you run to Apple, Spotify, or Amazon, or go back to the one right before this, the podcast episode that we have on YouTube here. Go to episode 68 with Rachelle and the Brainspotting episode, where you're going to see this modality explained, but you're also going to see what this session is about teed up. We start talking about it. We talk about my experience as a child. We talk about my experience as a 26-year-old, and we talk about my experience in college and what we're doing and how we're taking those three different experiences, merging them together to help me be my most expanded, most powerful, most unleashed, unstoppable self. Here's what I can tell y'all. I'm coming to you today 10 days after the initial session and 7 days after the second session, which are all in this YouTube. That's why it's hours long. And I can tell you all that since doing that, I have announced at another volleyball game. I have announced at a cross-country boards meet with 10 to 12,000 people. And I can tell you that how I feel in my body holding that microphone in front of thousands of people has drastically shifted, and that I have completely stepped into myself and effortlessly owning who I am behind that mic, knowing without a doubt that it is absolutely where I've been called in my life. So I do encourage you to go back and listen to that. Again, if you are watching this, feel free to check out the first 10 minutes of each. There's 2 sessions on here, so check out the first 10 and the last 10 minutes of this session 1, and then check out the first and the last 10 minutes of session 2. Again, they're all right here in this one single YouTube recording. That's why it's so long. Again, watch for my eyes, watch for how I'm physically responding, how I'm sitting, my stance, my energy, how I'm talking, how I'm feeling. Watch for all of those things, and you can physically watch my body change over the course of these 2 hours when you bring these sessions together. So those are the things that you want to watch for. I encourage you to run and book an appointment with Rachelle. She's the best that there ever is. I can't thank her enough for all the work that she's done with me, all the ways that she's unleashed me to be able to do this podcast and own that stage that I know God gave me. But also she's helped so many of my clients work through a lot of things in their life. She's one of those people that I'm going to keep in my back pocket forever. Knowing that when something comes up, I can go right to her and we can move through it, and I can keep going after the life that God has called me to live. So I hope you enjoy this session. Don't forget to give me grace. Y'all are literally getting to sit in on 2 of my therapy sessions back to back. But I hope that it blesses you. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope it encourages you to start your own journey as well. Thanks for joining. Okay, so
if I'm not looking at you, it's because I'm writing something down that you're saying that I feel is important.
Okay.
So you might say this much, and I hear this much.
Okay.
When I'm listening to people talk, I'm picking up on core beliefs that they don't even know that they're saying out loud.
Okay. Have I already told you a bunch of core beliefs today?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you want me to? Let me ask you. When we talked about the situation with this woman in your past, what do you feel like the core belief is that is kind of holding you back or held you back last night from being able to speak on the microphone?
I mean, I just in general don't like to be in trouble.
Right. Okay.
And
So yes.
and I don't even feel like, but my parents aren't like that. Like my parents aren't like that, and like because my parents were just very yeah, they're not like that. Like I never the first experience where I had, I mean, I do think like I obviously from being bullied had a little bit of that like staying quiet to like not get, maybe it's that. Like maybe it is more of like the criticism thing. It's like being too bright and then people are just coming for you. And so I feel like
Wanting you to stay quiet.
yeah, wanting to stay quiet and I do think it's a little bit of that. Like recently, my husband and I, we did a marriage episode together, and some people from his hometown started commenting on it, and my body was hot, mad. Like I was
Mm-hmm.
mad,
Mm-hmm.
but because it wasn't towards me, it was towards him that they
Mm-hmm.
were saying like they're like this one kid was like, "Oh my gosh, I've never been more embarrassed for Kobe in my life." And
Well,
I'm like, "I will find you." Where do you live? You know, and I actually really didn't even know. It took me a while to realize like who it was. I was like, who? And he's like, you met him one time, don't you remember? And I'm like, no, I don't remember him. But then I finally did, and so, but I was super furious. But it is one of those things where I have to remind myself, like, people are going to be complete jerks, and people are going to say all the things in the world because that's what people do, and like I just got to keep going, And it I think then, in college, like that was happening, but like Brad's voice was louder than everyone else's voice. And so then when I got into my job, right? And so, I had this boss that she was very loud, like so loud. I think that became really like, whoa, wait a minute, hold on. Like, I no longer have my biggest raving fan. Like he's off doing his own life, and I'm surrounded by people that love me and that are awesome. And I think there was a season where I did really, really great, and it's when like one of my best friends, Angela, was doing the same career, and I think she was my biggest raving fan then because you're doing the same career, and it's not like she's not. She's obviously still a raving fan in my life, but when you're not doing the same thing and you're not like doing life together the same anymore, you know what I mean? Like her raving fanness wasn't the same. And so I think I was wildly successful in college because Brad was my raving fan. And then I was wildly successful for this period of time because Ange was my raving fan. And their voices were always so much louder than the highly critical ones. And so then not having a raving fan whose voice is louder than the criticism,
attached to her story.
I'm attaching to like the fear wounded story where like the microphone's literally getting ripped out of my hand as opposed to, like having three people speak over you in 1 week and saying like, God gave me this vision of you. I'm sorry, what? Like people that barely know you, you're like, okay. And not like I don't see that, but uh-huh.
And you're holding the mic and you're getting to see what it feels like
Uh-huh.
to that vision.
Uh-huh.
But so there's a couple statements and they all kind of blend together or have kind of like the same meaning. But you said you're afraid of getting into trouble if I don't do it another person's way. This this
Oh, yeah. Because it doesn't even feel like the right way. It's not the right way, it's her way.
I didn't say it exactly the right way. I didn't say it the right way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and what's the right thing to say? So it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
you're asking for permission to say what you want to say.
Yeah.
In
Yeah,
theory,
I do feel like that. Like when I said to him, "Yeah, but what am I supposed to say?" And then for him to say back to me, like, "This is your own, make it your own." And I was like, uh, uh, I mean, it felt like a car crash in my brain.
okay,
Almost
so when
like,
you're thinking about it right now and you're thinking it feels like a car crash in my brain. So I want you to
huh?
just put yourself in that space again last night when he's saying you're getting the microphone, but there's something holding your back. Like what are you feeling? And
Yeah.
he's saying you can basically you say what you want to say, but you're
Yeah.
feeling I need your permission.
Yeah, and I'm feeling like I want you to tell me exactly what you want me to say.
Yes. So where do you feel that in your body? If you scan your body from head to toe, noticing any sensations, maybe it's a tightness in the chest, tightness in the shoulders, maybe it's just a little tingling in your feet. Anywhere on your body, what are you noticing in your body when you put yourself in that position that you were in last night,
Mm-hmm.
where you felt that sense of fear.
Yeah. It's like right between my throat and lungs. And there was this point where even like when I was doing it, I there for a little bit, I'm like, am I losing my voice? What is happening? This is the weirdest thing in the world. Because I shouldn't be. And then I knew, I'm like, okay, you are emotionally losing it because, and it was weird because he's the one in charge, right? And so he's coming and going and coming and going. And I mean, he's in charge, but like he's even younger than me. So it's not like there's no fear. Like I'm not afraid of the guy. It's not like that. Like I know he's not gonna,
You're not
consciously. Yes.
really, you know what's happening
Yeah.
and there's nothing to be afraid of. But that's
Hmm.
not what your nervous system, that's not what your body is
Hmm.
experiencing. Based on your
Correct.
experience in the past, this experience has similar flavoring of something in
Yes.
the past. And so it's trying to keep you safe
Yeah.
by keeping you quiet.
Yeah. And I do think there was like a tiny incident in the spring where there was like a huge fight at a baseball game and I recorded it just because I was like, whoa, what's happening? Something's not right. And I recorded it just so it was on file. And then not, you know, I, it was me all by myself recording this, not thinking this was ever going to go to anybody but myself or, if I like had to show someone, it's not a big deal. And I was a little opinionated on it. And then it escalated all the way to like the people in charge of our entire school district so they could watch it and hear my unhinged thoughts. Which then there was a little bit of like, like I did get in a little, I like kind of spoken to. Like I wouldn't say in trouble. I wouldn't even say I got my wrist slapped, but I would say like,
I'm
eh,
getting into,
a little bit, a little
yeah.
bit. Like it was a little bit like, you shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have said that. You shouldn't have whatever. And I'm like, okay, well, also, no one was around me. It's me talking to me, to my own thoughts, mumbling out loud. Like, are you kidding me? This is the craziest thing that's going on right now. Like, seriously, this woman, she's pathetic. She's dumb, whatever. No one's around me. No one's hearing this but me. And then next thing I know, it's escalated and it's like the police have it and the entire school district has it. And so so I do have I feel, and I bet no one even thinks about it. And it's for me, it's me. It's definitely I'm being crazy about it. I'm positive no one thinks about it. Everyone looks at it as like this like random, oh yeah, that don't even worry about that. It's totally fine. Um, but
Your body, I'm going to stop you right now because you're going to talk your way through this. And I want you
yeah,
to feel,
you
I
want me
want
to
you to
feel it?
feel your way through it.
Okay.
I want you to feel that feeling that you felt that you just talked about again of like this feeling of like, oh, I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
Afraid of getting into trouble if you don't do it another person's way or you don't have permission to say something
Hmm.
a certain way.
Hmm.
So feel that in your body.
Hmm.
What that feels like, you said it's in between your throat and your
Yeah.
lungs.
Yeah, it's always like right here, almost like, yeah, like right, like that hollow part of your throat. You know what I mean? Like it's like on like on top of your collarbone, right? That spot
Right,
would be
right
atop of
there.
your collarbone, right? So if you're listening to this audibly, you can always jump on YouTube and you can also watch it visually.
Right. So if you put yourself in that position that
Mhm.
you were in last night, or even that experience, at the school
Mhm.
where you had that recording, and I want you to just feel in your body what
Yeah.
you felt in that moment, and see if you can
Yeah.
activate those feelings again as if you were there right now. That feeling of, oh, mentally you're thinking I'm an adult, I'm not in trouble, but in your
Uh-huh.
body it feels like I'm in trouble. I need permission to say
Mhm.
that I want to say, maybe earn the right to speak what you said earlier.
Mhm.
Uh, where do you feel that sensation still in your throat and in your lungs?
Oh, should I turn that music on?
Yes, sorry.
Yes. You guys, there's music. Shez, you play this little like light music, which it's like a specific
So
megahertz or
it's
whatever, right?
bilateral music, and so it moves from your right ear to your left ear. So it's connecting your left brain and right brain, and it's also helping to calm and regulate your nervous system. So this is your headphones.
Oh, this is why you have people do it with headphones because it literally flips back and forth
Right.
in your ears. Okay, but I can have it really soft, right? So I can hear you and talk to you and
And still hear me.
hmm. Hmm.
It's just kind of like a background soft sound.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Sorry, I told you to
You're
expect
good. You
on.
guys, I don't know if I ever quite realized like that's what that was about, was that this sound is literally flipping back and forth.
Yes.
That's so cool. That is so cool. Okay, I've got it going and I can hear you and I can hear the sound.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Uh,
look into that situation again where you're feeling that experience in your body
hmm hmm
on a scale from 0 to 10, 0 being completely at peace, 10 being completely overwhelmed. What would you rate that experience? What would you rate what you're experiencing in your body when you're in that situation or when you think of that situation?
Yeah, I would say a 7. And I did not realize like when I was asking him that last night, the visual that comes up is when I was walking, like I'm walking down the sidewalk of the school, like between the football field and like the baseball field behind me and like the softball fields. There's this moment. It's this exact moment where I definitely said something I would have never wanted anyone else. Like I said something that was for me, not to get put out on a video all over the place.
Yeah.
And when I was like turned to him and looked at him last night, like, well, what do you want me to say?
Mhm.
That image pops up in my head at like a
Okay.
7 of like, we,
What do you say?
yeah, but what do you want me to say? Like, I don't want to get in trouble here. So like, just tell me exactly what you want me to say.
Okay. So when you feel that in your body, when you're thinking of that experience, and you look over to this side,
Mhm.
does it feel more activated or less activated?
You know, she has her pointer sticker, her antenna out, and she's got it like tilted to
Yeah,
my,
my or right.
yeah, my right, your left. Okay.
Do you
Uh,
feel activated or less activated when you look on this side, on the your left side? No, your right side. Sorry.
my right side, yeah. I don't know if I can see it there. I almost like can't even see the thing that I was seeing. I couldn't even see it. Yeah.
Maybe you're less activated on this side when you're thinking
Yeah,
of
I
it.
think less activated. Yeah.
And so if we look on this side, do you feel less activated, more activated, or the same?
Nope. More.
More.
hmm
Then just double check over here in the center.
No, it must be to my left.
Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just move this pointer slowly across her visual field, and what I'm looking for are reflexes. I'm looking for reflexes in her eyes, in her breathing, in her body, anything that's going to tell me, okay, I've now touched a spot that's connected to her visual field and connected to the emotional wounds or fears that's stored in her brain and body, and then I will hold that spot.
hmm
Now
And it's
she
kind of like, am I tying both of those moments together, right? Like last night when I was like, but what do you want me to say? And like also the microphone taking away, right? Because it's kind of one
right,
thing.
so you're not purposely you're not trying to force something right here. You're
Mhm.
just noticing.
Okay.
And so then she obviously is the expert in her body. So I will notice reflexes. But if she
hmm
feels that one spot is stronger than another, she can tell me, no, move a little farther over here or
hmm
move over here.
Okay.
And she's basically the guide.
hmm
Or she's the expert here,
Okay.
helping. Okay, so I'm going to move my pointer across the screen and just notice if you feel the sensations become more intense or less intense. Just notice the changes in your body.
It's like a wave of it, like whew, there's like a little. I feel like my shoulders just dropped like 5 inches there.
Mhm.
That's like a um like almost dizzy spot. Like ugh. Yeah.
Okay.
That's so weird. It was like, it's like moving from left to right. I feel so much, but moving from right to left, it feels different.
Okay. So I'm going to go to the spots where I see reflexes, and then you can just tell me if this feels the strongest. So this is where I'm noticing first reactions over here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Over here, you had some like
Mm-hmm.
it's a release for you, or it started to feel really heavy.
I think it feels like compared to where it felt like more tense and tight, like to the left, here it feels more of like just like an exhale, I guess.
Okay.
Mhm.
And over here on this spot is where you started to feel like a little dizziness.
Yeah, like almost like distorted, like trying to make my eyes. It's like trying, I say trying to make my eyes focus, but it's almost like trying to make my brain focus. Like
Okay. And what do you feel in your body on this spot?
it's like my brain is like ugh. Like I want to shake my brain like it's like when you're at the eye doctor and you're like, okay, hold. Like that's like fuzzy.
Okay.
Flip that. It's like I want to like shake and settle my brain.
Okay.
Hmm.
And over here.
That's more of like the throat piece. Yeah.
So let's stay on this spot. It's activating that throat sensation that you felt earlier. Now
Yeah.
I'm going to
It's
put
like
the
a
pointer
tiny inch like to the way more.
right here.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm going to move the pointer up and then down, and I want you to just notice the same thing. Do you feel the sensations increasing or decreasing?
Yeah, it's all the same there. Maybe a little more there. Like it's weirder coming down than it was going up.
Okay. Just notice the differences as it moves through. And as we go lower,
Mhm. Totally fine. It's like this one specific spot,
up in
like
here.
right below that. Like right, yeah, it's like right there. Yeah. And what's weird is I always like memorize the spots on your wall. Like you have the photos and like the different things on your wall, which I love that you have stuff behind your wall because it almost helps. It's like my brain can go, oh, right there.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So what I want you to do is just hold your gaze on the pointer, and you're just going to observe whatever thoughts, memories, sensations come through without judging. Just be curious. If you feel like you need to cry, cry. If you need to scream, scream. Whatever your body is wanting to do, allow it to happen. No holding back, because you're wanting to release that energy. We're no longer wanting to hold it in. And for those listening, it's kind of like you're the observer, almost like you're observing a television show. You're not wanting to judge and analyze and try and figure out what's happening. You just want to observe it. Just be curious.
I think that the hardest thing is like what it did was it put me into this just pedal to the floor, like proving like you're going to give that back to me. And it's like I did one thing after another after another. And then there was this moment where, uh, I mean, she'd actually been like, I know you've earned the right to like have this like moment where you were like, basically I was going to train like 400 or 500 people. And she was like, hey, I'm asking if you would just like not do it. And I was like, no, I'm going to, because for me, it was like, well, I'm going to like, I think in my head, I thought like, just how you took it away from me, like now you're gonna have to physically give it back to me. And even when she did, like it didn't feel how I thought it would feel. And it didn't work because like it still came with this like, I don't want you here.
When she gave it back to you.
Yeah, because like she did it reluctantly. And then even what I said wasn't even what I wanted to say. It like I had someone basically tell me like, say this just like this. And so I literally physically like read this scripted speech that someone else approved saying like, yep, she'll approve this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's like even saying yes to like the experiences, but then it's not,
It's how she wanted it to be.
yeah, like it still creates like such a hesitancy, I guess, in it. And I'm seeing it like where I'm seeing this trickle like, I mean, yes, like last night was an example, but I'm also seeing it trickle into so many small parts of my life where it's like even at an appointment, sometimes within like that career field, I I don't know. It's like I don't know what to say. It's almost like, you know what I mean? Like it's like I've lost the ability to just have like my own thoughts, I guess, and my own voice.
Right? To
Yeah.
speak authentically.
I almost just say nothing instead. It's like, it's like places where I guess like a great example, it's like I'm not like closing certain sales or things because it's like awkwardly created this like I don't really know what to say and like what's too I don't even know. And do you know what I mean? Like I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, you're just kind of holding back because you don't want to get in trouble. You don't want to say the right thing. Like you feeling like you need permission to say it, permission that it's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, and like I've told my mom a lot lately, like I wish I could just go watch somebody and then I'll just say exactly what they say.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's almost like in certain situations an inability to create my own thoughts and words.
Right. So where do you feel that in your body right now as you're still holding your gaze on the pointer and these thoughts are coming through? What do you feel in your body?
Yeah, like definitely more like chest, lungs.
Okay.
Hmm.
So just continue to be curious about that sensation and what's coming forward.
Definitely the feeling like it's just safer to stay quiet.
Safer to stay quiet.
Yeah, for sure. Safer to stay quiet. Which is where it's like the school thing, it's like, oh man, like
Hmm.
I feel like I was like so annoyed because I'm like, oh my gosh, like I know better than that. Like I never thought that that would get out. Like I would have never said that.
Right.
Yeah.
Would have been safer to stay quiet.
Hmm. Mm. It has like created this huge like, but I don't even know what to say thing. And I think it's people might be like, what do you mean you don't even know what to say? Like you're doing coaching and podcasting all the time, but that's like very like I know it goes out to the world, but it really is so private. Whereas like making the decision to go back and like take a room and take a stage feels so much more, it just feels different.
It doesn't feel as safe.
It doesn't feel the same. No, not at all. I do feel like this is some of my almost like I know today that I'm 40, but I think like physically I keep feeling like early 20s child because it's like, well, that's when I could easily access all of that. Like that's when, you know what I mean? Like no one was, I feel like I physically keep trying to like go back and like grab that and
Like
where what?
where you felt safer speaking.
Yeah, where it just, I don't even know about feeling safer. I just didn't even know that I shouldn't.
Right.
There was no thought about it.
Right.
Hmm. Yeah, literally no thought at all. Because I feel like I feel like I want to like leap over it. Like I want to
Hmm.
like leap over that like segment of 13 years and like go back to and like grab that other stuff instead.
Part of you.
Hmm. It's so weird. It's like I can't access, it's like unaccessible.
What's unaccessible?
It's just like a, I don't know, like now it's just like a spot. It's just like, you
The
know,
feeling of safety is unaccessible.
no, just like it feels like that spot just feels neutral.
Okay. Okay. So what I want you to do right now is I want you to imagine yourself again back at that space that you were in last night, the situation you were in,
Hmm.
where you felt this sense of fear of, I need this person's permission to kind of say what I should say. Give me a script so I don't get in trouble. I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to say the wrong thing and get in trouble. What's the right thing to say? What do you want me to say? Because it sounded like that former boss of you was giving you a script of what she wanted you to say. And that kept you, if you
Hmm.
followed her script, you felt safe. You felt like you weren't going to get in trouble.
Yeah. But I think that's like the biggest thing is like only people who were willing to say exactly what she wanted them to say were the ones that were allowed to speak at all.
Mm-hmm.
And that just, I think that I like proved too many times, like I was just always going to say what I wanted to say, which is what you should say. Like, you're being asked to share, that's what you should say. Uh, to the point where then it just like last night was weird because it was like he was giving me this ability, like here is this mic and here is this ability, and like I want you to do this. Whereas with
Right.
her, like the opportunity wasn't even there. Like even if I was given the opportunity, she would literally physically take it away. So I think that
Mhm.
was like the weirdest disillusion thing of last night of like, well,
You think about that right now with her. What do you feel in your body as you're speaking about that? What sensations do you notice in your body?
just sad.
Okay, so I want you to just tune into that sadness because it's kind of shifted from like attention to what you're truly feeling, that wounded part that feels sad. So I
Yeah.
just want you to hold your gaze at the pointer and just tune into that sadness and see what else comes forward.
It just feels like nothing is like ever quite enough. It's like I guess it's always going to be unreachable.
Okay.
Where it's like no matter what it's like you can literally do all the things and read all of the books and like go to all of the classes that they tell you to go to, and then you can go back and be like, okay, I did this, and then it's still just, you know,
Not quite enough.
yeah, like
And you mentioned earlier, I'm not quite there yet. I have more to work on.
yeah. And it is that where it's like I don't know, it's almost like a the I guess like a permission, I guess, of like I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
a you're good, I don't know.
That's okay. Just be curious about what all that feels like in your body and just see what comes forward without trying to analyze it.
I found out she called me unpredictable recently. That was not fun. Like,
Mm.
I mean, I feel like I'm pretty predictable, like predictably honest. I think now I'm just sad, you know? Like, I think that had so much truth. I liked like who she was to me. I think I grew like almost rooted her in like everything that she did and everything that she said was just, like Bible, like truth.
Right.
And it's just like now in my body, I just feel like you're such a liar.
Right. Well, you were only 26. She was your leader.
Yeah. 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 I think it's like merging those, like merging my 26-year-old, like, whoa, what just happened? Like no one had ever done that to me. Like literally in the history of my life, no one had ever thought that I wasn't amazing. I mean, I always
Mm.
felt like I was bullied because they knew I was amazing in my head. Uh, whatever. And so it's like for the first time in my life, someone doesn't think I'm like the smartest, fastest, most talented, and it was just um such like a weird confidence rocking thing. And then now I feel like it's like my 40-year-old self is just like, man, you're like such a liar,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
like to everyone. Like you just lie.
Hmm. Notice what do you notice in your body if you scan your body from head to toe and hold your gaze at the pointer. What do you notice in your body when you feel that thought come up of you're just a liar?
Okay, so when I look there and think about that, it like releases, but it's
Hmm.
like I think like the liar thing is like so like dead on. Like it's like it's like dead forward
Okay.
spot.
Where it feels um, like you're experiencing like a contraction, like it's heavier.
Yeah. It's more further that way,
Right here.
but like higher.
Okay.
Right in front of the word bless, pretty much.
Right here or
Just
higher?
a sign that says bless, and I'm like, it is right about like, but just like a little that way.
High here
Yeah,
or
a
higher?
little higher and yeah, a little higher and like right to the yeah, it's like there where it's like
And this is where you're feeling of a strong contraction when you think of her being a liar. Okay.
yes.
So let's hold that spot and see what comes forward.
I can't breathe.
It's okay. Let me know if it's too much. And if it does become too much, you can come back to this spot, which you felt like you were kind of releasing some. You can go back from one spot to the other if that feels comfortable for you.
My body's like, I hate you.
Allow yourself to feel it. Don't try and talk yourself out of it.
Yeah.
Allow that part to feel all the feelings that were have been held inside.
I just feel like I lost so much.
Mhm.
It was so cruel. Like, you know, like I feel
Yeah.
like at 26, like you're a kid. Like being 40, I can't even fathom that, you know? And she was not 40. She was like in her early 50s. Like, I also feel like I'm not like the broken, unpredictable one. Like, I feel like you are. Like, I feel like you're the one that lies and is broken. And
Yeah. Being projected onto you.
yeah, a lot of that. Like, a lot of projection.
Yeah.
Yeah, an extreme amount of projection. I do feel like this, like, constant needing to work to be good, like a good person, you
Mhm.
know?
Yeah.
Which I feel that nowhere else in my life. Like no one else would ever question like my character and that I was good beyond
Yeah.
her, you know? Which
Mhm.
I shouldn't say that beyond her and whoever that she had a massive influence over to make sure that, you know, like she kind of like set up like fake friends around me. I thought they were my friends and it was really more like they're like my handlers to make sure I was being well behaved, which like I was born like ruling the world, so I don't know why we thought I was gonna be misbehaving, but
Yeah.
I think it was also confusing because it was like there were certain parts publicly where it's like I would get, like, it was random though. Like it was just, I don't know, not pre that was not predictable, you know?
Certain parts that she gave you?
Yeah, it's like I never knew, I just never knew it's like, am I going to get this thing ripped away from me or am I gonna get something special? Like, am I gonna, like it just was never like there was such a lack of consistency in treatment.
Uh-huh. And that felt unpredictable to you?
Yeah. But it also I think felt like maybe this, it's almost like that, like bad boyfriend where like I think maybe this time it's gonna be different,
Yes.
where it's like never like it's like as you're pulling away and you're like ready to break up with them and they can tell it's like they do something to
Mhm.
just, reel you in and save face and like I don't know. It feels like that. It feels like really manipulative.
Yes.
Um, I definitely have this part of me that feels like I have to like overserve and overgive to um like have this space that I already earned. It's like, okay, so I've earned it and now I have to like overserve and give to be able to keep it. What I've
Like to earn.
earned.
Mhm.
Hmm.
What do you notice in your body right now if you scan your body from head to toe?
I feel like consciously I kind of connected, like that college, like the college raving fan voice to that situation. And I was like, I mean, a little sad. Like I feel like heavy in my chest. Uh,
Mhm.
just wishing like I would have, I guess, kept going. I feel like I was like trying to be heard and seen by like the wrong person because I thought I had to. Like I thought I had to be seen as like good by her in order to get where I wanted to go,
Right.
you know?
You need her permission.
Hmm. And now I,
Safe.
it's like,
In trouble.
yeah, to not get in trouble, to not be held back. Just because I know she'd done that to other people. I know that she'd like weighed in to make sure other people were held back and weren't let through just because she didn't approve of like who they were as a person.
Right.
And now I'm like, I just should have kept going anyways. Like knowing that it would, like I would be fine.
But at that time, you didn't know that. That's not what you felt.
No.
So you did what you had to do to feel safe.
Mhm. And so I'm just kind of sad for that. Like I'm sad, like, oh, I wish I would have, like you would have been fine. Like it would have worked out. Like I wish I would have just kept going. But I just got tired.
Yeah.
Mm. Mm. I was actually at an event Saturday, and there was a lot of people who like hold speaking positions around me, that would align with like everything that I'm technically building and like people keep telling me I should be doing. And I just remember like looking around the room on Saturday and thinking like I do not have it together enough for this. And like another area of high criticism, that she would literally email me if I was wearing the right thing or the wrong thing.
Okay. Wow.
Uh-huh. Like I just remember that. I'm like, because I remember Saturday sitting there and looking around and being like I remember like Saturday it was like, oh, I should switch purses. Like I should have this purse. Like I shouldn't just waltz in there, with like this. I think it was something about like going back into like that specific kind of space feeling. Like even though this was more of like a book signing, it was like more about like the people who were going to be there
Mhm.
and just really thinking about like what I was wearing, which is odd because I wear the same clothes every day. No, on a normal basis. I buy like 20 of the same exact thing and just wear it over and over again, which is why,
Into a situation that has similar flavorings to what you experienced.
yeah,
So your
yeah,
nervous system is saying, wait a minute, be
yeah,
careful. Let's stay safe. What do we need to do to stay safe in the situation?
yeah, very much. Like I can, like Saturday, I very much put on like the exact attire that would have been like acceptable to her, head to toe, personal. Hmm.
So just notice that right now as you gaze at the spot and notice that experience in your body when you're thinking about that.
Mm,
Sight is
yeah,
coming through.
yeah. I remember driving home thinking like, oh, like it was like weird feelings of like, oh, if I'm gonna be doing that and I'm gonna be creating these stages, then I need to. It was like in my own head going like, you've gotta like look like this, like you've gotta dress like this, you gotta have these shoes, and you gotta have this, and you gotta have that, and um, that's where it's like, oh man, I can see where it's like having this, um, like doing things in person versus doing things behind a screen has
Mm,
been like created such like an easy, safe space
yes,
versus like a physical crowd.
right.
Yeah, I can see that in a lot of things actually. Yeah, I can absolutely see that in a lot of spaces. Okay. Yeah, that's a thing.
Okay, continue to go with that. Continue to see what comes forward.
Just scared, Like, are we really going to do that again?
Hmm.
Hmm, man, that's like odd. I think like the achiever in me is like still turned off.
From that experience.
Hmm. Yeah.
Hmm.
Like, even though there's so much that I'm doing right now, it's still all, it's like the capacity of it is so different.
Yes,
Yeah. And I think that's why I'm like holding it to, like, I keep holding it to like a certain limit.
right.
Yeah. Phew, like, man, that's interesting. Because like people will go like, "What are you talking about? You're achieving like crazy." And I'm like, "Man, I actually, if I'm honest with myself, I'm like achieving in this realm of like behind. It's like everything's done like behind closed doors, and
Right.
yeah, yeah,
And
like
not
when it, yeah,
like,
what?
and not to the capacity that you could see yourself or wanting to do, but
Yeah, yeah. And I think I could, like, I feel like I'm like, oh gosh, like I could sabotage this forever.
mhm.
that's where my brain like starts doing this like glitchy thing where it's like, ugh,
That's
almost like I want to like shake it and sort it out because it's like I can definitely see where just uh doing like going like keeping things almost contained to like a certain point and level that keeps it in a safe space, and like very randomly I'll do little things that are bigger and in person, and I'm like I love it, you know? But then I don't, then I pull it back. It's almost
yeah.
like, oh, it starts working and I feel this, like I can start feeling this just like um electric momentum of it. And then like no thoughts or rationalization at all. I just like pivot back to the more reserved behind the screen type of thing instead.
Right. That's your manager parts, your parts coming through to keep you safe.
Hmm.
Like, let's bring you back in here to this spot where we know you're safe. That was okay for the moment, but we
Yeah.
know it could happen,
Yeah.
which is get in trouble
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
wouldn't feel safe. Or
Hmm.
it's not safe. That's what the part of you believes, that it's not safe. You're safe here.
Mm.
So as you hold your gaze on this spot, we can show these parts that you are safe, that you're 40 years old right now. You're not 26. You're 40 years old. That older lady that was supposed to be leading you and guiding you was not guiding you in the right direction. And that now, as an adult, you can lead your parts in the right direction. You are in charge and you're going to keep yourself safe, but also allow yourself to expand and grow.
Mm. I feel like that takes out all the hydration in my body.
Your body's working really hard right now. You're just sitting here staring at something, but your body is working really hard. Your brain
Yeah.
and your
Mm. I do feel, I don't know how to say, like, I feel like, I don't know how to say, like, oh, I feel 40. Like, I do feel like 40. Like, that's such a weird thing to say, but like, I think if you never felt that, if you know, like you always felt like, because you were constantly being treated like you were a kid, and
yeah,
then,
yeah.
yeah,
And when you're in those experiences, you're being triggered back to that part of you that feels
yeah.
like your unsafe self. You're actually not in that 40-year-old part of you, your true self. That
Hmm.
part of you, the energy of that part is taking over. That's what
Hmm.
happens. We're being triggered. We're being taken over by a younger part of ourselves that
Yeah.
doesn't feel safe. So right
Yeah.
now, as you're processing through, your true self is starting to come through.
Hmm.
Your your adult self, your true self.
Yeah. There's weird. I do feel, I think that's where it's like the kids thing comes in. I'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm still so young. I have so much time. Like, there is something with that where there's certain things that will, like, honestly, I think it's rare that my body feels shifted ahead and feels 40. I think I mostly feel very, it's like how a trauma can like capture someone emotionally at 9.
Right.
It's like it mentally like captured me in this like never ending loop as a 26-year-old
Hmm.
who is just trying to figure it out, you
Right.
know, like not yet whatever enough to be able to do that. And so it's sometimes it's really weird. I'll go, what do you mean they're only like 34 and they have this and they've written books and they're published and they're speak on stage? Like they're younger than me, so how did they get to do that? Like how are they old enough to be able to do that? Like that's how I feel about that.
Yeah. They have different life experiences.
Yeah, which is odd because like leading up to that moment, I'd never had that thought. Like there was no thought ever before that. I mean, I was like born feeling like I was born, so now I get to have a stage and a microphone because that was my life.
Yeah.
And then it's like this weird moment in time that just all of a sudden like created new rules of like,
Hmm.
yeah, like never old enough and ready.
Right. If
Yeah.
you scan your body from head to toe right now, what sensations do you notice in your body?
I do feel that brain flutter thing.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
definitely like the brain flutter. It's almost like a, I don't know, like a constant like flickering
Okay.
back and forth of like, wait, what are we now? Like wait, what?
Trying to like reorient.
Yeah, it feels like it's like trying to like sift and short and almost like catch up.
Hmm.
Like I know that I lived from 26 to 40, but it was in like the like constant, it was under like such a heavy thumb of like deep, you know, true narcissism, you know, like therapists have been like, that's narcissism.
Right.
That it's almost compressed. Like it feels like a compressed quick moment in time.
Hmm.
So I have a hard time going like, oh, that, I don't know, 26 to 40 is like smashed.
Yeah. And just notice that flickering that you're experiencing, that kind of disorienting, and just sit with that for a moment and see if it can feel a little more stable within that. You allow yourself to just feel it.
I feel like my brain like broke down ages, like to
Mhm.
almost. um like cement me in those ages, I guess, like to move through, like to actually physically move through them.
Interesting.
Hmm. Like, almost to like I don't know, almost like, okay, remember, like we did this and this is how old we were and then we did this and we were 33 and like it's like my brain like re-experiencing those ages to anchoring, almost like anchoring in the fact that they were there and they happened.
Yeah.
Hmm. It's like stack, I guess, like maybe creating evidence of, you know, how old
What
I am.
ex
Yeah.
what was happening those times?
Hmm. Yeah. I feel like it's like like anchoring the ages from like 26 to now.
Yeah.
Hmm. Mm. It definitely feels better. Like it feels like that spot doesn't hold like all the crazy emotion that it held.
Mhm. If you scan your body
Hmm.
to toe, just
Hmm.
notice what sensations you feel. And if you rate what you're experiencing on a scale from 0 to 10, 0 being completely at peace with, holding that mic, being in the situations that you've been in the past, like last night, when you were given the opportunity to speak and share what you wanted to share, without needing permission, on a scale from 0 to 10, 10 being completely overwhelmed, 0 being completely at peace, what would you rate that experience or the sensations in your body as?
I'd say a 3.
A 3.
Hmm.
Okay. We're going to do you still have time?
Yeah.
Okay. So I want you to first, I want you to go to this spot. So sometimes that happens when we're doing brain spotting. We might say, like, and I've had the same experience where it's like, my eye just keeps wanting to go over here. Like, we found this spot, but my
Mm.
to move over there. So we always follow where your eyes want to go.
Okay.
So another part may have been coming through, and it's like, this is the direction where we need to go. So if you bring your eyes over here, what do you
Hmm.
notice? Any sensations, any feelings or emotions that come through? Any thoughts, images?
I feel like emotional happiness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where it's
Okay.
like you could like really like burst into tears, but it's like, I don't know, like good tears.
Okay. Okay. So we're going to do like a shorter version of expansion. So
Okay.
sometimes we did say on the spot for quite a long time.
Hmm.
And so sometimes, we'll do expansion in the middle or towards the beginning, and we might alternate between spots.
Okay.
But you were processing so deeply and so well right here, I didn't want to
Hmm.
interrupt.
Hmm.
So I want you to think of the the boyfriend that you had,
Hmm.
that you felt like was your biggest cheerleader, your biggest supporter. He really spoke up and made
Hmm.
you feel like it was okay to say what you want, do what you want. Just
Hmm.
made you feel good about, like, you didn't need permission
Yeah,
to.
absolutely.
So where do you feel that in your body when you're thinking of that support and
Mm.
that he gave you to just say what you want to say,
Yeah.
how you
Um,
want?
I think I'm like my heart center.
Okay.
Yeah.
And on a scale of 0 to infinity, how true is that belief that he? What would you, first of all, what would you say that belief is that he gave you? What would he make you feel? Like you
Like
can do
ser
anything, like I can.
like the okay, I would say that the belief that he
Because over here
gave.
is, it's not safe, or I'm afraid of getting into
Yeah.
trouble.
Yeah.
um, if I don't do it the right
Yeah.
way. I need permission
Yeah.
to
I don't
to
know. It was always like a very like, screw them, they're dumb, do it anyways. Like, just to like do whatever you want to do. Like, if you feel like you should do it and you want to do it, then you should do it. And like, very,
So he made you feel like it's safe to speak your truth and be yourself.
yeah. Yeah. Very,
That situation.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now
Always. Yeah.
you
Which
feel
is
that.
odd. Like, he wouldn't say that. Like, he would say that he was very, not that he didn't have times where he was like weirdly, oddly critical, but it wasn't like he feels like he was so critical. And I'm like, yeah, but like where you were like critical and controlling, that was like your stuff,
Yeah.
and you were like great in all the ways that I mattered to me. You know,
So one word at a time, what did you experience with him when he gave you that permission to just be you, speak your mind, speak your
mm,
truth?
yeah, I did feel like I wasn't alone.
So no longer alone.
Yeah, I did feel, yeah,
Supported.
yeah.
Okay. And let's look in if we're looking across your visual field, where do you feel that
Mhm.
most, that sense of
Like,
support and permission to be yourself?
mm-hmm.
So we're looking for that sense of expansion and
Okay.
activate more of that within your chest.
Might be right there.
Okay.
Because it can still be emotional, right? Like, it's like good, but you're like,
Let me move in here.
mm.
Right here.
It's like right on over the thing at the center of that jar.
Right here.
Yes. Yeah, it's like right dead center, like going up and down that jar. Yeah.
Right
Hmm.
here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so, yeah.
So on a scale of 0 to infinity, like completely believe in myself. He gave you that permission to feel like it's safe to be yourself, no matter what the situation is. On
Hmm.
a scale from 0 to infinity, how true is that to you on this spot and with him as your cheerleader on the side?
Like extremely high. I don't know about quite infinity, but like it's extremely high.
So I want you to just hold this spot and that truth, just gaze at this spot and feel that truth within you.
Hmm.
Because all of that was really already within you. He
Hmm.
was just allowing you to, he
Mm.
was just giving you permission to feel what was already within you.
Yeah. Well, and I think he was so, like I think about anytime someone was critical in my life, like think about when I was bullied or when someone was critical, or even that experience with her when I sat down and was like, whoa, it was more, it's almost like I wasn't even associated with my own emotions enough to know how I was supposed to feel. So it's like my emotions became the emotions of whoever was around me, if that makes sense. And so it's almost like,
Kind of
I don't
like
know,
the human.
I think I do that now with my own husband. Like something happens and I almost look to him, I'm like, how am I supposed to feel about this? Like how are we feeling about this?
Yeah.
Um, and I don't know where that comes from at all. Like I think I just have always like, how are we supposed to be feeling? Someone tell
Mm-hmm.
me what we're supposed to feel about this. And so I think about like that moment where she pulled that microphone out, and I was like in shock of kind of like, well, what was that about? And sat down. And I think the biggest emotion is like the emotion that happened around the table that made me go like, oh, that was really bad. Like that was super bad, you know? And then when I think about that spot, I'm like, gosh, I don't know. I don't know if like it didn't matter if I was like criticized, or I suppose I probably could have gotten in trouble. I mean, I was wa pretty wild and in charge of a lot of things, but I don't ever remember, I only remember all the good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I felt like I could, I don't know, do whatever I wanted. Very invincible.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Mm. That's interesting. I think I decide how like to react in a situation based on the person that's around me. Like the magnitude of like, well, what emotion should I be feeling and like what should I take from that and like how should I pivot from that and um like I even see that like with our friend, you and my friend Stacy, like if something happens and she knows the people that are involved, like I can go to her and be like, this happened. And her response is like, oh, okay. Like that's
It's
cool.
okay.
Like great. Like that's how I'm gonna feel about this too then. That's awesome. You know?
Okay.
And so I
Hmm.
think that, hmm, that's so interesting. Is that normal?
Well, this is going to be like what you're experiencing now when you're shifting to like I need validation from this person and this person because at some point in your life it wasn't say you didn't you were taught that it's not your feelings weren't to be trusted, how you were feeling about things. So you had to look
Yeah.
to other people for their validation and to understand, is this okay to feel like this? Is it
Hmm.
okay to experience this in this situation? So that could be a whole nother brain spotting session.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we heal in layers. So something else might come up in a session where
Mm.
you might notice, okay, well, I'm starting to notice how I behave in certain ways in life. So asking other
Yeah.
people approval of like, is it okay to feel this way, or needing their validation, or like their feelings are right but not mine, because at some point in your life someone may have made you feel like your feelings weren't valid or accurate. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and it's almost like I look around and go like, how are we reacting? How are we supposed to react right now?
Hmm. Because you're not trusting that you know within yourself
Hmm.
that it's okay to feel how you feel and
Hmm.
react in a way that's true and right for you.
Yeah. My dad has a highly, 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 highly critical sister. Uh, like mostly highly, highly critical of our mom. And our mom is like my mom is just like very fun, loving, and outgoing and like a gregarious, charismatic person. And you're saying this, I'm like, oh, I know right where this comes from. Like how insanely critical she was always of her and very like nose in the air, just like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And I think I just don't like that. I think I don't like to be like, it's just my personality. Like, I just don't like to be criticized. I don't like to be criticized. I don't like to be talked about and just in
You're
general.
seeing that another person's criticizing these other people, you're
Hmm.
learning, okay, that's how people will react. People are, I don't want to be criticized like she's criticizing them. So I'm going to keep myself safe and I'm going to make sure that I'm reacting
Hmm.
how other people feel is the right way to react. I'm going to get their
Yeah.
permission to react this way.
That
So,
started so young,
so
like
this
so young.
this is where that goes deeper. So you know, you
Okay.
thought that it started at the with your boss when she
Yeah.
took, but this is where you notice, okay, this goes even deeper.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I just happened to that until that point. I was just always around people who were like, I don't know, what do you want? What do you want to do? What do you think we should do? Like, how do you think we should make this look? And like, I was just always around people that encouraged me to, I don't know, be myself until that moment. And I think she was just so triggering back to that like really early childhood insane criticism that I was constantly witnessing.
So just notice that
Mm.
this is again your expansion spot, but other things can still come up that might not feel so good that you're going to work that you can work
Yeah.
through well. So just notice that what just came forward and be curious
Okay.
about what other insight and clarity you can experience right now.
Mm. I have this like very, very locked in my brain memory of being 4. And because somebody had said to me recently, like, oh, think of your earliest memory with money. Or maybe I was reading a book or something, or I don't know, I was listening to something. Like, think of your earliest money with your earliest exchange with money. And I was like, man, I think my earliest thought is like when I was 4 years old. I had this memory. My mom put some cash in my hand. And I actually think she put it in my hand. And then this same aunt actually took that money. And then we went to the store and we went shopping and we bought pants and a top and this belt that had a little heart on it. I know I was 4 because I was not quite in school yet. And thinking like, oh, I remember that was very fun. Like I remember it being very, very fun. But I also remember needing to like get a thing that this person approved of. So I guess by 4 years old, I'd already made up my mind that she was like highly critical.
Yeah, I mean, you're constantly observing before you can even speak. You're observing
Yeah.
about what's acceptable.
Yep.
You
Yep.
see a sibling or somebody else being treated in a certain way, you may not be able to voice like or even consciously think
Hmm.
that's not okay, but you can sense and
Hmm.
see what's
Hmm.
acceptable and not acceptable.
Yeah. And I have like a lot of core memories with that aunt around like criticism and control that are um not fun. Like their like a lot of Inside Out movie.
Yes.
There are a lot of glass balls. Uh-huh. Huh. I mean, I guess they even kind of remind me of each other though, in a way. Like the two people. And I have some serious core memories about this woman. Like this well, first of all, she threw me in the pool and I almost drowned. I have
Oh,
this, yeah, yeah, I was like 2, literally 2, not even 2.5, 2. She thought I should learn how to swim right there in that moment. I didn't not want to learn how to swim in that moment. There's this another time, there was like 2 times actually, where we were staying with them. My parents were on a trip, and like one time she was basically like telling me how I needed to live my life. Um, yeah, like how just literally how to live my life. And then another time, I remember this is like a big one. We're eating dinner, like her kids and my brothers and I were eating dinner.
you have these core memories.
Yeah. So I have I have multiple core memories with her. Like the earliest one, gosh, how old would I have been? The earliest one is the shopping thing. And then right after that, I remember we were like driving through the Walmart parking lot and she kind of like whipped the car back and forth a little bit. And I remember it being very like fun and crazy. And that was a really fun moment. And then I remember um a couple years later, she was basically like telling me, I remember it was almost like she was like telling me how I needed to wash my hair or something, that I needed to like wash my hair differently. It's the weirdest thing, but I remember it so clearly. I could tell you exactly where we were standing when she was telling me like I needed to wash my hair differently. And then, because I had thick hair or something. And then, not very also in that same like time era, we're sitting around her kitchen table and having dinner around her kitchen table. Um, and she had her and her husband, whatever they were saying something up. They were saying something, they had a really strong opinion, I think. They must have
They
had a
did.
strong opinion about me. I can physically tell you that there are a million, I have like a million little isolated moments and memories attached to her that constantly
Yeah.
weirdly pop up, where you're just like, wow, why am I seeing that right now? Because again, photographic memory, I think in photos and little short movies, and
Yeah.
there is a lot of them. I think there are way more times. So the reason I don't live where I'm from is because when I was in college, she called me one day and was like, "Hey, I didn't see you at church today. Where were you at?" And I was like, "None of your business. Hungover, still drunk." You
Oh.
know. Mm-hmm. It's like she deemed herself as like the family rule keeper or something for my dad's family.
Uh-huh.
And I think there's like a lot attached to she just I don't kn-
Well, it makes sense that this lady then triggered you the same way.
yeah, yeah. It was funny is I would say they also both stake a lot of claim to probably like who I am in life. Real quick, before we dive back in, I want to share something I created for the women who are growing but still kind of feel like they're doing it alone. If that statement just hit, then this is for you. I've never felt so aligned and so alone, is the message I kept hearing as more and more women were falling in love with their life doing what they were born to do. They were craving that like minded, iron sharpening iron relationship with other women who were as focused, powerful, and determined to be positive as they were. And that is why I created the Growth Collective. It's our All Things Excellence book club community where you don't have to read the book because audio and PDF Cliff Notes are provided for you. There's a community for you to connect and network with other growth-minded women, plus 2 monthly Zooms where you receive connection and live coaching from me. Head on over to chelseydbc.com/book club to join us. All right, let's get back into it because what you're hearing today is exactly why spaces like the Growth Collective exist. We were never meant to grow alone. So about Friday.
So Friday we ended and you were at a 4.
Uh-huh.
So you started
By the way,
7
yeah, and
on a
they,
scale from 0 to 10 being completely at peace, 10
uh-huh.
being completely overwhelmed in a
Mhm.
sense of feeling safe in saying what you wanted to say when you were in those situations where someone kind of like giving you a microphone and you're able to handle that situation how you feel would be best as opposed to gaining their permission and doing what you think they want you to do. So you
Mhm.
started at a 7, we ended at a 4.
Mhm.
If you think about that situation right now,
Yeah.
where would you say you're at?
Okay.
On sensations and how activating those emotions are in your
Uh-huh.
body.
So tomorrow they asked me to do it again tomorrow night.
Oh, and how do you, you're kind of like wide-eyed right here. How do
Yeah.
you feel about doing that
Uh-huh.
again tomorrow night?
Yeah. So I wanted to talk to Kobe about this before I brought it up on the internet, but we were going through something about it the other day. I went, you saw my eyes go, like all of a sudden, like I caught something. I told him, I'm
Yeah.
like, I was like, you can't, Kobe's my husband, if anybody doesn't know this. He came up the other day because especially in that moment of that, I told him, I'm like, you are, which is, people will be very surprised by this. I told him, I'm like, you're so, critical is not the right word. I mean, he is an Enneagram wing one, like the perfectionist. But I'm like, you are so lightly, oddly, like really controlling within that environment. I always say like there's Kobe who is like fun loving, easy breezy, just that he's the guy that everybody knows, like everybody's best friend. And
Yeah.
then there's Aaron, which is his real name.
Okay.
Uh-huh. And that's like the Enneagram one of him, who he is actually at school, which people I said to somebody one time, I was like, he's a Gemini. I don't really know what that means, but I had heard once that that meant they had two personalities and he fits that bill. So he has like, he really has this like super fun loving version of himself, which is just so like go with the flow, whatever, whatever,
Right.
peacemaker guy. And then
Okay.
yeah, and so I said to him, I'm like, I said, you really came up like in my body when we were really talking about this. And he goes, I bet I did.
Did you feel like you needed his permission?
Yeah, I did. And he goes, I said, I feel like you're really, we talked about it like that because I literally left the session and then went to the school. I literally left this session, went to the school and was in that environment with him where I was helping him at his job, do the social media stuff. And he said, I bet I did. And I said, I think you're really, really controlling in this environment. And I don't know if I ever realized how controlling you are in this environment. And he goes, I just really, really, really love my job. And I almost think it is it probably is like his Enneagram 9. Dude, I don't know. It might even wing his 8 because whatever. He needs to like maintain the peace and everybody needs to like, he needs to maintain the peace. Everything needs to be good and happy and loving with him, with everybody. And again, he's like, I just love my job so much. And I think
That's nice.
yeah, like that's the driving force.
Mhm.
And so then I think he even gets afraid, like, I'm going to be a wrecking ball. And I was like, well, Tyler said I could do whatever I want. He said I could say whatever I want. I was like, I'm not going to say anything, whatever. But he does oddly. But so then yesterday, I was like, oh my gosh, you do not need more clothes. Seriously, like, I can't handle you buying any more shirts. Like, what is up with this? Like, why do you keep buying more shirts? And he said,
Mhm.
well, I've already been called out once because I wore the same shirt like 2 weeks in a row. And I was like, first of all, I wear the same clothes like every day. You know, like I've got like I don't even care. Like I have this shirt with like four different designs on it, maybe five, I guess. And I just wash my clothes every Monday and I wear them all over again. And like I don't even I think it's like the greatest thing in the world. Like I don't have to worry about what I'm wearing. I just put on what I love and what's comfortable and it's the same clothes over and over and over again and I love it. And I don't know, he like made this comment and I thought like who freaking cares? You're letting a bunch of no, y'all love you high schoolers if you're listening because you probably are. I know some of you have found this podcast. Get over yourselves. Like there is more for adults to do in this world than worrying about only wearing a shirt 5 times a year, if that. Like Lord help all of us. Are you kidding me right now? But he cares. So it
He
made me
cares.
realize like, ooh, the
You
level.
don't care, but he cares.
I don't care. Oh no, my parents wish that I cared too. Like the level at which I make my entire family and him pretty insane, which is I think then where this control of this boss came from, right? I think my level of how the level at which I really don't care is that I don't even consider what I'm doing or saying makes
Mhm.
them all like very controlling, I guess, around me. And then I don't know, I must pick up on it. I must know.
Yeah, you can sense that they're concerned about it.
Yeah.
If you what did what was the word that you had used? Unpredictable. They're worried. They feel like you're
Yeah, that
unpredictable.
I'm unpredictable. And
Hmm.
but I keep going like I'm like I know y'all feel like I'm so unpredictable, but I feel like I'm very predictably very consistently gonna say whatever
Unpredictable.
I want to say. Unpredictable. I'm very predictably. You can predict that I will say whatever I think or feel.
Huh?
I feel like that's pretty predictable. So I feel like I think I do feel like a two. And the two is really just going, okay. I mean, I slept like a rock Friday night. So I know that it did a lot. I mean, I was like
Yeah.
yawning like crazy and I was in bed faster, in asleep faster than Kobe was even out of the shower, which is really rare. Normally I stay awake for hours after he does, just kind of letting my brain wind down, but my brain was exhausted. And then I turned
Yeah.
off the weekend. Like I'm always posting on social media nonstop. I haven't posted since Thursday. And it's not even like it's not like I think I can't say anything. I honestly didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that I hadn't posted on social media until my assistant said something. I was like, oh, you're right. Like, I guess I haven't since like Thursday or something. Actually, I don't even know when the last time was. So it does feel like a two
Well,
on a scale from one
it
to.
they say that when you're doing brain spot, even though you're just sitting here and you're just staring at a spot, that you're actually burning the same amount of glucose that you would burn at the gym in like a 3 hour workout. So you're doing a lot. So it makes sense that you're
Yeah.
exhausted and you just wanted to.
Yeah,
pass out.
we were driving home from the football game. I wasn't driving. Kobe was driving the white bus, and I was yawning like crazy. I'm like, what in the it is 10 o'clock at night? Like I don't ever yawn. I would love to yawn. Like I never yawn. I could run circles around the house and I still wouldn't be, yawning.
Mhm.
So yeah, I was
But
exhausted.
yawning also, you're releasing energy. You're releasing the
Mhm.
emotional energy that was stored in your body. So a yawning is a sign of you're shifting something.
Yeah.
You're releasing.
And
Hmm.
it was weird to go from that directly into a situation where, I mean, he's definitely, I told him, I'm like, you're kind of controlling in this environment.
So when you're in that environment after the session,
Uh-huh.
how overwhelming or activated, I should say, because it might not have been overwhelming, maybe just activated,
Mhm.
you feel when you realize like your husband's interacting with you about what you're
Yeah.
gonna say or you being there in that
Mhm.
situation.
Yeah. I actually I quite literally said, bro, you need to chill that out and realize like I will literally never say anything that would be so out of line that you would get fired because that's just not who I am. Like I'm not going to
Mhm.
do that. Like
Yeah.
I don't even talk about like controversial topics at the school, even if other people bring them up. Like I'm not going to talk to them about unless it's like a really trusted friend that we would talk about things like that, just because I think it just, like the
Yeah.
wrong thing.
Yeah.
So it felt really great. It felt really great to realize like how much, like how honest, almost like very apprehensive I can get in that environment, and then to tell him like you can't you can't say all I want for you to do is like be everything that you want to do and like go big with everything, and then be so controlling in this one environment because it just doesn't work like that. Like it seeps in all areas of life. So you're gonna have to chill and just trust that I'm not ever gonna do anything that's gonna make you lose your job, you know?
Well, and after the session, so it makes sense that he's kind of taking the place of that leader. And
Yeah.
okay, so also your aunt.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And I
So
also said that to him. I brought up, I was like, hey, I think a big, huge core of the criticism is my aunt. And he goes, "Pff, that checks." Like without skipping a beat. Oh, that checks. Which I have. So there was three moments that I feel like are really tied together in that, which, so there was the microphone moment, right, where she did it, and then I sat down, and I think what she did was like interesting. But when I sat down, the reaction of the people at the table, the challenge with that is the two people that reacted the hardest at the table are the same two people that when I was little, I bet I was like 5, 6, 7 years old,
mhm.
and the position that I then wanted to achieve in that career as an adult when I was 5, 6, 7, they brought up the fact that someone didn't hit that position because this exact same boss said, nope, you're not good enough.
Okay.
Nope. I don't check your boxes. You don't get to go through. You're not good enough. You're not kind enough, helpful enough, whatever. You don't have it. Like basically like she was too unhinged to like let her through to have that position. And I heard that when I was like 5, 6, 7 years old. And then I think it created this rule that like you cannot be yourself and get what you want necessarily. But it was kind
Okay.
of like this dormant lying thing, I think. You know how things can be lying dormant and then something just like explodes them? I
Yes.
think it was
Yeah.
very lying dormant. But at that exact same age, I had to be somewhere in this like 7 to 9 year old range. My brother and I were at this aunt's house and we're sitting around the kitchen table. And oh man, okay, so how old? Brett looks like my brother looks like 3 or 4 years old, and we're
Okay.
we're 2.5 years apart. So again, I had to be in that 6, 7 year old range, and he's just like, I'm sitting here, and he's at the end of the table, and he's just like goofing around, and my aunt is across from me, and my uncle's right next to me, and he was just being himself, like total goofball, and I don't know what they said. I don't know what they said, but I know all in that same sitting, they were really critical of him about just like how outgoing and funny he was being. And I know that they were making comments about my mom's job. And I don't know what they were, but I know they were. You know, when you're like, you're so young that you
You
can look
can just,
back and you can
right,
be really angry about that moment. Like, you
right.
don't
You
agree
can,
with,
you know what you're feeling in that
yeah.
moment.
Like, I can
Right.
still sit there and go, she's here and he's there and my brother's there and their kids are here. And I don't remember what y'all are saying, but I remember being really angry
Yes.
at you and them, like, just not loving how he was. I mean, he was just being like a 4-year-old boy,
Right.
just,
Being yourself.
yeah, just being himself, like very gregarious and hysterical. And I mean, he's a middle child and he's a boy. Like, what do you think he was being? Like, hi. He was being the middle child boy of two
Yeah.
parents who like let their kids be who they want to be. Like, that's my parents have
Mhm.
always been like, let them be who they are, Like, if they're chatty, then they're chatty. If they're inquisitive, they're inquisitive. And if they're quiet, they're quiet. Like, it just is what they are.
That's
Which
good.
is, yeah, awesome parents like that. And so I think like those three moments like kind of grabbed each other where it's like created this very critically type of thing, but it was like really exploded when that microphone moment happened. And then those people responding the way they responded was like very triggering to that childhood memory in that same era of going,
Right. Right. So this fear is
hmm
about that, basically the criticism that you might get,
hmm
which feels as a child like you're in trouble also, because you also talked about you're afraid of getting into trouble if you don't do it another person's way. So you kind of need their permission. You're seeking their permission.
yeah, I was fired from my one and only job.
Okay.
And she was super critical. And it was always about not doing it exactly perfect the way she wanted, which I still don't even understand. I'm like, what are you?
Okay. So that makes sense too.
Yeah. Well, and it was like
Doing it the
every
way
time she
she
said my
wanted.
name, I was in trouble. Every time. Like,
Okay.
oh gosh, what is this about now? You know
Mm,
what I mean? Like, you just knew, oh, if she was saying
yeah.
your name, like you were in trouble. And she wasn't my boss. She was my equal. But
Mm,
she, like, her kids are my age, so she like thought she was my boss.
yeah.
One of those people. I mean, like,
Okay.
yeah, one of those people where HR is like, oh, we know we created a problem, but we need you to deal with it. And you're like, I'm 23, man. Like, deal with what? Huh?
So it sounds like throughout the weekend, which is normal, more stuff is coming up. So more
Yeah.
insight, more clarity, and that's basically a lot of what happens during brain spotting is you gain insight and clarity about what really happened
Yeah.
in your past.
Uh-huh.
So you create a
Love that.
story when you're younger because it's all about you, everything's your fault. But as
hmm
you get older, you can start to see, okay, it wasn't really all
Yeah.
about me and my fault. Like there's other adults in this situation that are conditioning my mind to think it a certain way, and so I feel a certain way.
Yeah.
Um, so when you do
Absolutely.
the brain spotting, you gain some insight and clarity about the reality of the situations.
hmm
So I have the two spots. You have a spot right here.
hmm Does it make sense though that it would like it wasn't an issue and then when that memory kind of exploded and it all like synced together, then it just started being an issue and just seeping into all the other areas of my life?
Yes, because it's like you said, it's kind of dormant, and then something
Yeah.
triggers you, and all these other fears start coming through. It's kind of like we talked about,
Yeah.
the fear of a dog. You're not you might have a fear of being around a
hmm
dog, but
hmm
you're not around other dogs, and so that fear is not a problem. It's
Yeah.
like sleeping, and then all of a sudden you're around a dog, and then that fear
Yeah.
comes
Yeah.
forward, and then you around that dog every single day until then you start to live in that survival mode because you're
Yeah.
with that dog every single day, and then your nervous system just starts to be in that state of like that sympathetic state of fight or flight,
hmm
or however you reacted to it, fight, flight, freeze, or fawn.
hmm
So you start living in survival mode, and then that becomes the normal way of thinking and feeling.
Yeah. Because it definitely, like when I sat down, I was stunned, like, whoa, what the heck just happened? And when you're just stunned, like, okay, well, that was weird. And then they
Yeah.
had their reaction, which then made me decide how I felt about the situation. Like I don't even know. There was no thoughts, there was no feelings. It was just like, well, what the heck was that? And I remember saying to myself, like, I will be so good. She will never do that to me ever again.
Mhm.
And so then I went just into this ultimate, I felt like I was like silenced, but also criticized. Like, you can be silenced, right? Like, oh, you're not allowed to speak. Like which
Right.
is the death of my personality type. But then also it was like silently criticizing me. Like, oh, not
Okay.
you, not you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so then it like shoved me into this just like hard driving, nonstop working, uh, like I'll show you mode,
To keep
which,
yourself safe.
uh-huh. Yeah,
Yeah.
thinking like I
Those
can
are, those
achieve
are
my way
your
there.
those are your protective parts coming through to
Yeah.
ensure that you're not triggered, that that wounded part doesn't come forward, and that you stay
Mm.
safe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but so then so my protective parts were I'm going to work so hard, I'll show you that you're wrong. And then I did that for so long, and then I burned out so bad. And then now it's almost like when people are critical, that part of me is like, oh, we're going to work so hard and show them they're an idiot. And then the other part of me is like, no, because then we're going to burn out or we're going to be tired. Let's not do that. And then I almost do nothing.
Okay, so then there's like the opposite of we're just not going to be a part of it.
Yeah. So then I like,
So that's just another part that's coming through as well to try and keep you safe because they don't want you to burn out
yeah, yeah,
and they don't want you to be a part of it because that's not safe. So we're just going to keep you silent and we're going to play it safe over here.
yeah. Like those little guys in your head from Inside Out, my anger guy is immediately like, screw them. We will show them. And then I don't know which part, probably the sadness part is like, no, no, no. That will make us tired, and then we will be sad. We
Yeah.
should just do nothing. And then I'm like, okay, let's do nothing, which is
Yeah.
not helpful either.
No. Well, I mean, at one point in your life, it was helpful.
Yeah, I suppose I did need to stop
But
for a second.
now that you're wanting to move forward in a different direction in your life,
Hmm.
that way of being is not helpful. Those parts are still trying to help,
Hmm.
but they're no longer helping.
Yeah, they're not helping.
So you need to give those parts a different job.
Okay.
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 So
I love it. Let's give the parts a different job.
this was the spot that you held that had to do with your ex-boyfriend who
Okay.
you felt, gave you that permission to
Hmm.
make you feel safe in saying whatever it is that you wanted to say and
Yeah.
to speaking your truth without worrying about getting permission from another person. You
Hmm.
didn't feel that fear of I'm going to get in trouble
Yeah. No,
or
biggest raving fan.
they're going to be critical of me.
Yeah, no.
Okay. And then over here was
That's
your spot.
amazing that you remember these spots.
Well, I took a picture of it so that I could remember because we want to remember where we're at.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's my pain spot. I remember that. Hmm.
This
It
is
is
your,
right there. I was like, oh, it's like the top of the D.
yes. This is the spot where you felt like, I mean, the words that were coming up that were bold was she's a liar.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I feel like there is that piece of me now that knows, it's like I've done so much healing work around it that I know, I think like the pedestal that I used to put her on, I know is such a false pedestal, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and that I'm not the only one that's had that experience and that she's a broken liar. Like she needs her own brain spotting, a lot of it.
But you can know that in your thinking brain.
Yes, yes, I know that in my thinking, but my nervous
No,
system
this
is
is not
like,
true. And I know she was
mhm,
projecting things onto me, but what you're feeling in your body is different.
correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you come to this spot right here
Hmm.
and you think of being in those situations again where you're given the microphone to speak and kind of handle a situation with the freedom to do what you want.
Hmm.
And then you freeze up because you have this fear of I'm going to get in trouble. I need permission. I want them to tell me, what to say and what to do so I don't get in trouble. And when you think of those situations, maybe even going into, you said tomorrow night you were invited to do this again. Okay.
At the volleyball game.
When you think about that going in there tomorrow night, do you feel any sense of emotional arousal around it? If you tune into your body, just scan your body from head to toe. Any sensations maybe you had in before was in between your throat and your lungs?
I feel like now, you know how something can be like in your mouth and almost like behind your sinuses, and it's um like happy, like highly happy, highly emotional anticipation.
Okay.
hmm
You're kind of like eager for it. Is there any sense of fear? Anything that you feel like is holding you back?
No, and I'm actually having, wait, did I tell you I have a photographic memory?
I think you had it in the past.
Yeah, yeah. So this photographic memory that like takes pictures and videos and everything and it like captures it. So I've had this experience before where something is so, so real, I can like snap right back there in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm having like I can't even really like I can lightly remember it. Like it's a very now it's I feel like it's like that moment has like really flipped to the back of the Rolodex. Like I'm having to like really work to grab it.
Okay.
You know, where it's like I can slightly remember the construct of the room and where people were and everything, but it's now it's more out of like repetition memory, not out of like
Okay.
living in it, I guess.
See if you can just take a moment and bring yourself back to it, even though you're feeling like it's kind of you've moved past it.
hmm
See if you can bring yourself back there and just sit in it, sit in that space. You know, in both of those situations, you had a microphone in
hmm
front of you as well. One, someone is taking it from you, and another, someone's offering it to you.
hmm
You still have the fear when it was taken from you.
Do I still have the fear?
Well, you did in that moment that it was given to you. Mhm.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, correct. Yeah. Hmm. I mean, honestly, my thought is like, I mean, geez, if you're gonna do whatever you can possibly do to not let me have this microphone, I might as well say whatever I want to say anyways. Uh, hmm. I think it's so hard now too because it's like when I think about the reaction of the people at the table. I mean, one of them is my mom who was, sad for her daughter, but then the other person at the table that made the comment that had also made the very judging comment, literally 20 years prior, she was the one that goes, "Oh, I don't know why she did that to you." And I guess like knowing what I know now, I'm like, "Well, yeah, you do, and you probably actually are the reason she did it."
Mm. Okay, so just notice what else comes up with that memory.
I think I have a lot of like I think the like how we were talking about how you can have the things that are on the forefront, but there's like the things that are whispering from behind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that my whispering from behind is how it's like when you start moving into those spaces, how the people around you like really can't be trusted.
Mm.
Like you don't really know what they're doing and saying about you, I guess, behind your back.
Okay.
that's creating like the chaos and the drama.
Okay.
Mm. Yeah, I think that's like my biggest thing behind that.
Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
Just
Mm.
continue to see what else comes
I
forward.
do feel that a little bit, I guess maybe even where it's like, you know, like even if you're given the permission, no, do what you want, like say what you want, like, mm, I think I like it created like a lack of trusting people at their face value.
Okay. That makes sense.
You know, like as honest, as unpredictable and highly honest as I am, I feel like it's like I've the realization that I guess that is super rare and that you don't actually know what other people are saying.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe it's not like a safe, like a don't feel safe to be seen thing. Like, I don't think it's that. I think it's like a the people in the spaces aren't safe, maybe.
Mhm. So you're kind of moving deeper into
Yeah.
the fears that lie beneath it.
Hmm. Yeah. Like in that moment, it was definitely in that moment, like it was definitely an approval thing where I felt like I needed to like do more and be better and be more good or whatever to get that approval and that acceptance. And then now, I think now it's like pulling in all that I know and like creating a lack of no trust with people around those situations,
Okay.
which then kind of really keeps me from, you know, like I think of achieving in general, but like specifically even like going back and achieving in that specific field.
Hmm.
And I don't know, it just feels like, you know, like is there anyone, I guess, real, you know, or they
Okay.
just I don't want to say fake. I think that's like an overused word, not like fake, but just
So you're questioning if you can trust those people, if
hmm.
they're people you can feel safe
Yeah, yeah,
with,
yeah,
in being your authentic self around.
yeah. And if they're really, yeah, yes. Hmm. Because I think I thought that like so much of I know now like so much of the criticism I received from her, you know, came from just like a really bad source who was just old and bitter and critical. Because there was like incidences then like through the years where it was like, you know, she would call me and be like, "Oh, I heard you did this." And I was like, definitely didn't." Like one example being like said that I yelled at my dad one time and that I was being disrespectful and like yelling at my dad at an event in like the back of a room. And I'm like, no. My car was broken into and like $10,000 worth of inventory was stolen out of my car. I wasn't yelling at my dad. I was yelling to my dad. I would never yell at my dad. I've yelled at my dad like once in my life.
Just a
And
misunderstanding.
yeah, it's yeah, you know, but it was like constant like that same person that made that critical comment when I was like 6 years old that was sitting at the table was like, oh my gosh. That was
Mm-hmm.
also that same person that was kind of, I guess, like slightly continuously like part of just like the problem.
Right.
Yeah. And then I do feel like a lack. I think that's one of the biggest things then that's keeping me from moving forward and working and blowing that up is like, I don't know. I mean, and I know it is like definitely my inner Enneagram 8. It's like, oh, we don't want to be betrayed, right? Like, don't want to be betrayed, don't want to be controlled, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like the betrayal was just so constant and thick that it's like, well, will you really, it's like, will you really ever find anyone that isn't like that? And like, I guess, like, how do you know that you can trust people after that?
And you brought up the word unpredictable.
Hmm.
That they felt like you were unpredictable, and it also sounds like you felt they were unpredictable because in the sense of whether or not you could trust them.
Definitely, for sure. I mean, I don't feel like you can, like you don't, even if people say, that you can, I just don't feel like you can.
Mm-hmm.
Like, of course you're going to say that. Like, why wouldn't you say that? That
Yeah.
I can trust you and yeah.
So if you go to this spot over here,
Hmm.
do you feel like that was a person that you could trust?
Brad? Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's move back to this spot where
Okay.
you felt you didn't need permission to speak
Hmm.
or be who you are authentically.
Yeah.
And you also feel like this is someone that you could trust.
Hmm.
And a lot came up unexpectedly in this from this spot about specific people in your past as well.
Yeah.
So let's go back to this spot and see what comes up from here. And if you're on this spot, how true does it feel to you that it's
Hmm.
safe, that it's safe for you to speak your truth, or have that microphone in front of you
Hmm.
and say what it is that you want to say without the permission of another person?
Without the permission?
Yes, without another person's permission. That it's safe for you.
Yeah. I don't feel like anybody ever said I couldn't say whatever I wanted there. And then even if people were critical about it, then he was like, they're an idiot. I'm like, you're so right, they're an idiot. Right, thanks.
So does it feel, how true does that feel for you, that statement, that it's safe for you, that you don't need permission?
That I can say whatever I want.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, 10. I
Okay.
honestly did always say whatever I wanted. It's also before social media, before you could get your whole butt canceled.
Yeah.
Or I guess it's the development. It wasn't that. It wasn't is what it is now.
Right.
Yeah, honestly, I felt like quite invincible. I felt like I could say or do anything. Hmm. Yeah. I also feel very in this spot, like I just show up however I want to show up. Like I never ever once felt the need to like I needed to dress a certain way or look a certain way or any of that. And then like moving into like that other space, I definitely did. I mean, and I feel like I could look back and like I can see photos where it's like, oh, I was just living how I wanted to live and dressing how I wanted to dress. Like even though my friends were dressing up like crazy and
Uh-huh.
doing their hair and their makeup and whatever, like I was always showing up, in a t-shirt and ponytail with a hat. And then like went to this like very made myself almost like image consciousy, I guess you would say,
Uh-huh.
and then now I feel like I've gone back to this spot where I'm like, oh, I don't care. I just dress how I want to dress. But then there is a part of me that feels like, oh, darn it. Like if we want to be successful, like we're gonna have to grab this other spot and we have to care what we look about. And I'm like, I don't really want to
Yeah.
do that. That sounds exhausting.
So in this spot, there's no fear of the criticism.
No, none. I literally do what I want and dress how I want and say what I want and get everything I want.
Let's just hold this spot and see what else comes forward.
I mean, I also got picked for everything. Like everywhere I went, people were like, you should help us with this. And I was like, okay. I feel like everyone just saw like I was very magical.
No matter what you were wearing.
No, yeah. It did whatever I want, said whatever I want.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very just magical and like picked for everything. Mm. Like more doors than I ever needed to be opened were always opened. Constantly, actually. Like even when I tried to leave spaces, people will be like, "We will create this special door and open it just for you." And I'm like, "What?" And they're like, "Yes, if you will just stay." And I'm like, "Okay." Like people were like begging me to stay in this spot and like handing everything to me on a platter. Like it was actually it was wildly magical, you know? And then the
Yeah.
lightly critical people, you know, Brad was like, "They're idiots." I'm like, "Oh, you're so right, they're idiots." They're just she'd be like, "They're just so jealous." I'm like, "They are so jealous. I'm so awesome." Zero confidence issues, but not in like a non-humble way. Like my family is definitely pretty crazy about that. Like, okay, but you gotta stay humble. Yes, 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 I know. God forbid I'm not humble. Jeez. Yeah. I don't know. It just feels like invincible and magical and like everything I touch turns to gold and like everybody like begging me to walk through the door that they want to open for me and
Mm-hmm.
like more things to do than I can possibly even imagine.
Yeah, this is like your yes spot.
It's like a big yes spot. Like a full send spot. Like they talk about like, you know, like a full send with your chest, like
Uh-huh.
just full sending it all. Yeah, like zero fear of consequence, I guess. Actually, really zero fear of consequence. That is actually really true. Woo. Yeah, like I
Allow
was even
yourself.
like I was even like pretty semi-reckless and I still had zero fear of consequence.
So allow yourself to just marinate in this big yes spot and what that feels like in your body. What do you feel actually when you tune into your body and you scan from head to toe? What
Hmm.
sensations do you notice? Where do you feel this in your body? This big
Like
yes.
a almost like a I don't it feels like an air bubble in my intuition.
Okay.
Like I guess I would feel like expansion maybe.
Yeah, like a
I
sense
could
of
say like an
expansion.
air bubble, but it feels like maybe it feels like expansion.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. I also always had everything I needed. Always. Like I had all the resources that I ever needed to always do whatever I wanted. And if I didn't, I could find it like instantly. If I didn't have it, it was because I didn't know I didn't need it. I needed it, and then I would just go find it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I also had all the energy that I needed to do everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like burnout did not exist.
Mm.
And it wasn't because I was like in my 20s. It was real. Like it just, I don't know. Also like treated my body really, really well. I mean, minus the tequila. Hello. But that's probably why I wasn't sick that much. I just killed everything off. Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like I like worked hard and played hard and celebrated hard and lived like really invincible without like I didn't have any worries. I didn't have any consequences. I just got everything I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely see why people were critical though. I see that now. Like
I like that.
it was like a magical, effortless life. That I got
Okay.
everything that I ever wanted and more. People were like, "Here, take this." I'm like, "Oh, geez, I guess." Hmm. Like I can see where that creates, you know,
Sure.
problems. Yeah, sure, absolutely. It's just like then though, they were all my critics were my age, so it's like I guess I didn't, and they weren't. It's not like they were in my way. Like I didn't need to validate them, you know. Whereas like the other space, it's like,
You
oh,
had to start playing smaller.
yeah, like the person who has to like check the box to let me through is being critical. So like this isn't good.
Mhm.
Gonna have
Right.
to, yeah. Which is also where like I think about this spot right here. And I mean I was in college and like I was on like the freaking board of trustees for gosh sakes with like real live adults, you know. I mean, and Kobe's worried that I'm gonna get him fired from his job. Please, bro. Please. Like I've had way more serious positions. Like I know how to act in public.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's his own issue. I did get him to agree that he needs to do all of his own brain spotting with you, though.
Okay.
Yeah. I said, you're like, you don't have to like sit on the couch for the next 5 years and talk about your feelings,
Right.
you know? Yeah. Yeah. You can just do this and like stare at the pointer and you can talk or you don't have to talk.
You're right.
Yeah.
So he's coming up now, a little bit of
Yeah.
that criticism. So notice what comes forward when
Which is
you,
like interesting because like this dot is also where we met. Like we met in this dot. So like he does love that spot of me. He just gets a little scared that
yeah.
yeah. But I'm looking at that, I'm going like, okay, you're being absolutely ridiculous. Like, come on, think about, like, literally think about like who I was when you met me and everything that I was doing. Like, you're insane. You know, like you're quite literally being irrational. Mm. See, this is why I keep wanting to live in the spot.
It's a good spot.
Yeah, it's a great spot. I've been watching The Summer I Turned Pretty lately, and it's been so emotional.
Um,
I know, because it's about a lot of like this spot era of their life. I'm like, I just want to go live in that spot.
well, this part of you is it's still alive within you. That's why you're feeling it right now.
Yeah. So is it you can merge these? Like you can go like
So we're gonna merge these spots. So I want you to come back to
okay.
this spot, and this is more where you felt like over here you felt a sense of expansion. That's at your yes spot, and over here is where you when we started was a sense of contraction. So when you come back to this
Mhm.
spot, do you sense any more contraction within your body? When you feel the expansion, expansion is a sense of like love, your
Mhm.
true self, your true nature is coming through. When you
Mhm.
experience contraction in your body, that's fear, that's confusion, that's not your true self coming through. That's a part of you that's believing a lie, something that's
Yeah.
not truth for you.
Yeah. Like I can say like staring at this spot, like the college era Brad spot, it's just so fun. And I'm like, okay, brain, like go look at the other spot. And it's like, nah.
No.
I
Do we want to stay here?
know, and I looked at it for a little bit, then I was like, oh, we're sad there. Let's look at the other spot.
That's okay. So this
Yeah.
part, let's come back to this part though. So you're feeling a little scared of this part because you don't want this part. I'm
Hmm.
sensing you don't want this part to take over you.
Yeah, it does feel sad. Like I don't
Mhm.
have like that memory so much attached to it anymore, but it's just
So let's tune
when you
into that feeling
compare
of,
the two, you know,
yeah,
like,
let's
oh,
tune into that feeling of sadness that's still kind of coming through. And you've
okay.
kind of gone through different stages of emotions. And when we get down to it, like that sadness is that one's kind of the hardest one to be with. Like the
Mhm.
anger is up front. That's easier for people to feel the anger. But when you get down to the true sadness, that one's kind of hard for people to sit with. So let's just sit with that
Yeah.
sadness for a little bit and see what else comes forward.
I do feel like that fourth grade sad again,
Mm.
which is where, it's really like, I keep saying fourth grade. It's actually fifth grade, I think, because like now that I'm looking at the room, it's actually like fifth grade where it's sad, just realizing like, oh, like we're not gonna get away from this. Like, y'all are gonna keep being really effing annoying and mean and critical and annoying. And then it's like just sad, like, oh, I didn't get away from this. We're here again.
Right.
And then I think I just went into like this pushing mode of like, I'll show you, I'll show you, I'll show you, you know? Like I'm not
Mhm.
going to just bend over like I did as a kid. Like I'll show you. And then it's like I can feel fast forwarding like 4 years later at that exact same event, like same thing where it's like the microphone was taken away and then the microphone was handed to me, but yet it was, but like it
Right.
wasn't, right? Like it was like, well, I don't really want to give this to you, but like you're refusing to not let me give this to you and I can't publicly deny you. So here you are.
Right. Yeah.
And it's just that sadness of like, oh my gosh, like here we are again. Like there's literally nothing, like nothing that I could do to fix this. Because I think like as a kid, when you're bullied, you're like feel out of control and like you feel like you're a kid, which is I think
Right.
I keep feeling like I'm a kid in that situation.
Well, and that's what happens. That part of you is like a time capsule. That part of you gets stuck in time.
Yeah.
And then when you're in another situation that feels similar to your nervous system, that part of you
Yeah.
comes forward, that energy, those emotions, and your system is truly taken over by the energy and emotions of that part, which is why you suddenly feel like a little girl again. Because that part of you
Mm.
is
This
is
is why. Like this is why within this context, like within this job, and especially with her when she did that, like it literally, oh my gosh, this makes so much sense. Because I entered into this space as this like huge adult who had all of these different jobs and careers and things that I had up and going and running. And I was like owning a house. Like I bought my own house all by myself. Like
mm-hmm.
24 years old, nobody else, just me, all by myself, my businesses. And then it was like this all happened and like I sold the house and I never bought a house again and have never had kids and I just always felt like very I've literally always felt like a kid, which is weird because I wasn't even born a kid. Like I was born like the oldest daughter and granddaughter on both sides, and I was born like a miniature adult, just taking care of business. And then it's like
Uh-huh.
all of a sudden I shot into this kid mode. It just absolutely so triggering to being in fifth grade. Like I
Yeah.
remember being in fifth grade and in the back corner of the room, like I mean, I know the exact corner of the room. Um, is where we kept the classroom. Well, I can teeter back and forth from fourth to fifth. Like I can see where. So we had the same teacher in fourth grade that we did in fifth grade. Like she moved with
Okay.
us actually. And in fourth grade, when like the bullying was getting really bad, they bullied me excessively. But then there was like a couple other girls. There was literally only 15 people in the class. It was a small private school. You know, that's why. Mm, so many opinions about that. That's a totally different thing. Um, and I like took the other girls that were also being bullied and I went to the teacher and I was like, hey, can we do a classroom newspaper and called the fourth grade Gazette? And she was like, yes. So we did. And we put out a new newspaper every single week, which, you know, guys, this was in like 1995. It was a pretty big deal. We
Yeah.
didn't have computers really to type things and print things like that. We had to actually make it and write it and put it together. And then we did, you know, did get to start printing, I think, in fifth grade. And then so in fifth grade, we got to continue the fifth grade Gazette. And so I remember like gathering them and sitting in the corner. And I remember the nasty girls over here being total a-holes. Really just the two, Rebecca and April, and being just themselves. And I remember just trying to work so hard to like keep these girls in this like safe little like circle of like screw them, you know, like they're idiots.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
but I don't know, like I did feel, it did get to the point though where I felt so, um, like out of control just because it wouldn't go away, it wouldn't get better.
Yeah. You felt helpless in those situations.
Yeah, like begging my parents, like, oh my gosh, get me out of this school. And they just wouldn't, because my dad's family was like, no, we have to stay in this Christian school. And I'm like, it sucks.
So just notice that sense of helplessness that comes with that sadness.
Yeah. And I think it was that same hopelessness all over again. Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, like here we are again. We can't get away from it. Again, we're stuck with it. Yeah. Mm, yeah. All in that same time, like my parents had so much going on that actually did involve the critical aunt again. A there she is again. Just being critical and controlling like she likes to be. And there was just nothing. Like there was literally nothing I could do about any of it. Like absolutely helpless.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's where this hands tied feeling comes from, where I just
Sure.
freeze, like fight, flight, freeze. Like I think I
Right.
fought for so long. And then when I realized like it didn't matter how hard I fought, because I feel like I fought the bullying for years and then just finally realized like, oh my gosh, like there's nothing I can do. Like this isn't going to go away. And then it's like being in that same job. Like I can see that those years in my head in the job, the same I can like see the years
Yeah.
of bullying. It definitely started in like third grade.
Very similar experience. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Very, 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 like very similar experience, very same like span of years, of like how long I dug in and kept it going and then just finally gave up.
Mm-hmm.
I guess then and that's when I like move into my apathy of like kind of like what's the use? I do think then it creates a little of this like I was really struggling this morning at like, you know, 5:30 in the morning today. When I still wanted to sleep for another hour, but my brain, it was like 5 a.m. I think. Alexa was like, what time is it? What is going on? I just felt very like, why are we even doing this? Why are we even trying any of this? We should just quit everything. We should just go work for somebody else. Like, we're never going to get it. It's never going to move forward. Like, that hopelessness, I guess.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Kind of that one critical part that you've adopted in,
Mm,
taken
yeah,
on, taken on those words of the other critical people.
absolutely. Yeah. I do feel that a lot right here. But here, I'm like, screw that. We can have everything we want. People are just going to hand it
Mhm.
to us.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
And you can move back to the spot. If you
Yeah.
intuitively feel like my eyes want to go here, you can
Mhm.
move your eyes over here. And then if you want to move back over here, you can move back over there.
Yeah. So how do you take them then? Like, how do you go, like, how do you, like, bring this to here?
So whenever you feel ready, so if you want to you want to move back and forth, you can keep doing this where you move from this spot, the spot where you feel contracted, where you feel activated,
Hmm.
or you move back to this extension spot. But if you feel like you're ready to merge these spots together,
Hmm.
the way I feel is like the way I see it is we're kind of bringing this light
Hmm.
and truth
Hmm.
to this wounded part of you that's living in fear.
Yeah.
So you can either, this wounded part, this activated spot is like the wounded inner child. Um, and this spot over here, your yes spot, is like your true self,
Mm-hmm.
truth. And we can either bring this adult part of you, this true self, because that's when you're in
Mm.
the spot, you feel like your adult self, like I'm this woman, I can
Yeah.
handle these situations. When you're in this spot, you're triggered into that childlike part. So whatever feels most comfortable to you to bring this truth and light to the wounded child, or
Mm-hmm.
bring the wounded child over to the truth and light, the yes spot, what feels best for you?
To bring the yes spot
You want to bring
to.
the yes spot too. Okay, so we're gonna I'm literally going to move this pointer, and you're going to follow the pointer with your eyes over to this activated spot, this wounded child. And what I want you to do is imagine yourself
Hmm.
in a room with this wounded part, your childlike part, where you said, around fourth or fifth grade.
Mm.
If you can imagine that part of you, wherever, whatever, if it's in a classroom, a bedroom, wherever they're at, imagine that situation where they would be right now. If you could be with them and bring this truth and this light to them, imagine yourself being with them and say to them what it is that you want them to hear, what they deserve to hear back then when you were that age.
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
Would it be more at the age of like feeling the hopeless child or like the hopeless 26-year-old who then felt like, oh, like the hopeless child?
Whatever feels best for you. This is kind of like where it started.
Yeah.
But that it's completely up to you. You could have both. You could have your 26-year-old part and your fourth, fifth grade part in this room with you, and you can speak to both of them.
Okay.
Maybe giving them a hug, maybe, just sitting with them and allowing them to sense that truth and that peace in this that comes from this yes spot. So however you want to handle it. So let's follow this pointer and just imagine this truth, this yes energy moving toward those wounded parts, that 26-year-old, that fifth grader. You're bringing that truth and that light and that love to this spot. And we're just going to merging them together so that becomes one. And you're going to bring that yes energy, that truth to those wounded parts of you. And just imagine yourself in a space with those two parts of you.
I feel like I don't have to, like you don't have to stay there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And like my yes spot just wants to like take their hand and be like, we're leaving now. We don't have to stay here anymore.
Yeah.
We do whatever we want. And it is
Yeah.
definitely not this. Mm. Yeah. I definitely felt trapped. Like in both of those spots, I felt trapped. Like it wasn't like I didn't have the option to get to leave.
And do you have that option now?
Consciously, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Nervous system, no. No. Yeah. I do know like consciously, yes. And like
From your
you,
yes, what you feel in your body, what's truth.
yeah. Hmm. I mean, my yes spot says we do what we want. And then like my 12-year-old and 26-year-old self are like, you know, like we gotta do what's safe and gonna.
Mm-hmm. Now, and this is now in this spot, in this room,
Hmm.
you can kind of sense that true self, what's true,
Hmm.
tune into that adult energy and knowing
Yeah.
what is safe. And again, showing them that you are safe, letting them know that you are safe, that you are now in control.
Hmm. Hmm. That's so interesting. I think like like the critical aunt and then like the critical boss, it's so hard because it's like they really have that same messaging, you know,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
um, about like not being in control and not getting to, you know, like definitely making me feel like that's so interesting. Huh. So what's weird about that is, uh, that ex-boyfriend, he would be like, "Oh my gosh, are you sure you're saying this?" And I'm like, "Yes, I'm literally saying like you're my biggest Raven fan." He would say that he was like critical and controlling because he definitely did say, they're all idiots and nobody's better or smarter or whatever than me and whatever. He did say all that. But also like in his own insecurities would be like, like I'm the best boyfriend that you'll ever have. Like, if we were arguing, like you'll never get anybody better than me. But I don't know, like that didn't affect me. Like that didn't bother me or mess with my
Mm.
head at all. I don't know if like because he was saying the other stuff more. It was telling me how incredible I was way more
You
than
caught
he
on to
was.
the other
Yeah.
factors. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know how that worked out because I'm like, gosh, that's so interesting. Like I couldn't remember. I could not remember all weekend. I was trying so hard to remember like, oh man, I know that he was critical. I know that he was. Like I know when it was good, it was great, and when it was bad, it was really, really bad. But like I can't remember the bad. Like what was the bad? What was the bad? I was trying so hard to remember. And then I'm like, oh yeah, like that was the bad. Like you'll never get any better than me. Like I'm the best you'll ever
Mm.
have. Like you can't leave me. Da da da. And I think maybe I was been in therapy for years at that point. So like I already knew. Maybe I just already knew. Like oh my gosh, that's your own insecurities. Like don't be a
Yeah.
weirdo.
You
Yeah,
didn't let it.
that did like literally no phasing at all. But then when it came to like the boss situation, then a few years later, I felt so trapped.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think a little bit of it was like economy trapped, Like it was like 2009 to 2012, which was very not super. And then I started having like all of my best friends there, and it's like I wanted to be there and I needed to escape her control all at the same time.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I didn't want to leave because I love it so much and I love the friends and I love my
Right.
people and my own team, but then also it's like you stay because you love it, but then you still have to like break out of this like controlling crazy person.
Right.
Yeah. Who needs her own brain spotting.
So if you scan your body right now from head to toe,
Yeah.
what sensations do you notice?
Mm. I think my brain is just trying to like sort, like, ooh,
Without trying to analyze anything,
yeah.
just tune into your body.
It feels pretty relaxed.
Okay. So Friday we started at a 7.
Hmm.
We ended at a 4. Today you
Hmm.
start at a 2.
Yeah.
On a scale from 0 to 10, 0 being completely at peace. When you think of situations in which you're given the opportunity, kind of panning over to the mic,
Hmm.
um, and you said you would feel afraid of getting into trouble if you didn't do it another person's way, so you felt like this need of permission so you didn't get in trouble to say what you wanted to say.
Yeah.
Um, on a scale from 0 to 10, when you think about that,
Yeah. I feel total zero because I feel like I trust myself.
you feel like you trust yourself, so you feel completely at peace with that
Yeah.
statement.
Yeah.
Okay, so that
Yeah.
statement to you is no longer true.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of forgot all the things that I did. Like, are you guys
Yeah.
freaking kidding me? Like, what do you mean? I've literally held more important positions than what you have right now. So the fact that like anyone can't trust me to like go away. You're just literally so annoying. But
So
then
yeah,
it
so it kind of sounds
does
like
like, yeah. My only thing now I need to book another session because I'm like, oh, it's the trust factor that's keeping me from.
but you just made an important statement that I was just going to say is that you trust yourself.
Yeah. Oh, I trust myself.
So
Yeah.
that's what's actually most important. So it sounds like you
Hmm.
actually may have worked through that. Maybe there's something else
Yeah.
there. But
I think so.
your concern before was I can't trust these people. But the
Yeah.
reality is if you trust yourself, it doesn't matter whether or not they are trustworthy.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because that was what I said to Kobe, like, don't be dumb. Like, you need to get over that. Yeah. Yeah. I totally trust myself. Like, I am
Yeah.
not like unhinged and unpredictable at all. Like, no. No. I mean, I literally was like a tiny little adult growing up. Like, yeah. Yeah. It's kind of she's kind of an idiot. I'm like,
So I'm eager to hear how tomorrow
yeah.
night goes when you are in the same
Yeah.
uh, experience, same situation.
Yeah.
I'm eager to know how you feel when you get handed that mic again.
I do think I'm going to announce who gets the point.
And is that something is that
The
something that they tell you to do or you just want to do?
the scorebook girl goes, you should be like, Chrisman, point. Or point to Chrisman or whatever. And I was like, okay, point to Chrisman. And or point Chrisman. I don't know, whatever I said. And my husband was like, I don't think you say that. Like, I don't think you need to say that. And I was like, oh, okay. And now I'm gonna say it just to get under your skin and make you chill.
Oh, no. Then he's definitely going to call and be like, all right, start this brain spotting.
Hi, Rachelle. I need to have some brain spotting to go with my wife. Which, okay, I will tell you, this is his own thing. You know why this is his own thing? Because his dad, this is 100% his own thing. His trigger is being super concerned. It has nothing to do with me and everything. I already know this. As a kid on the sideline, his dad was that like sideline parent coach that had no clue what he was actually talking about. Like, bless his heart, great guy, so wonderful, but didn't know a lick of soccer and was like the parent, yelling what things should be doing. So
Oh,
I know. So he
he
is,
doesn't want that embarrassment again, Chelsey.
I know. He is very, very seriously triggered by, I think it's that. I think he's like,
Yeah.
yes,
Well,
yes.
that makes sense then.
I know that's where his nervous system is losing
Mm.
its mind. So the poor guy, I do feel a little bit bad for him. I do feel like I'm 50% one parent and 50% the other, and then in one body, but like then on steroids. And so he gets like both parents on crazy person steroids
Yeah.
as a wife, which is all him, like that guy chased me for years. So that's a him thing.
You told me. Oh, goodness.
So he's gonna have to sort that out. So gosh, okay. So yeah, that's gone. They're all dumb. They're all idiots. Like, I definitely trust myself. Hold on a minute. Yeah, I guess I wasn't really. I guess it created like a lack of trusting in myself that it was going to be
Yes.
okay and that I knew what to say and I think like it made me feel she once had said like when you speak, you make people's heads spin. Like she
Mm.
told me that. Um and so I think like the podcast was like so huge and helping me with that because that's not true at all.
And you can trust yourself. So, I mean, and when
Yeah.
you think about that situation, it's always interesting because, everything is a projection, whether it's positive, whether it feels good
Mm,
or doesn't feel good. But your
yeah.
projection was, I can't trust them. The
Yeah.
reality was, I
Yeah.
can't trust myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Because I
if you
was like
question
told
your
that yeah.
thoughts, I don't know if you've ever read Byron Katie. She's one of my favorite teachers,
Yeah.
and
Is it
she
true?
yes, is it true? So
Is it really
that's
true?
another easy way to come to the truth of what
Yeah.
it is you truly think and feel about a situation to
Yeah.
understand the projection. And you can see the projection here was, is it true you can't trust them? And if you turn it around,
Yeah.
well, I can't trust myself. That's what you
Yeah.
were really feeling.
Yeah. And I do think that it made me like I think it took away skills. Like I think my parents raised me in an environment where I was constantly having really great speaking skills because they were constantly putting me in places that, from speech classes and 4-H and theater, just because I think they always knew that I would probably own a stage. I think they knew
Yeah.
when I shot out of the womb that I would. So they put me in all the places that really like groomed me to be so great on stage in front of lots of people, and I had zero fear about it. And then, I think like that criticism, I'd never once considered that I wasn't great on stage
Right.
with a microphone. So then I think that, which then you start looking at yourself, and then I think you become not so great at your skill. And then you are tripping over your words because,
Well, yeah, because you shift into that fearful part of you.
yeah,
Your
absolutely.
nervous system is triggered, and you're no longer working from your thinking brain, and so you literally start to fumble over your words because you can't get to that spot of your brain. You're shifted back into survival mode.
And I
Where
did have a lot of that. Like I remember constantly, it's like if I had to say my thoughts on something because it just like called for it because we were all doing it, it almost like there's literally a photo that somebody took of me. I was like number one for something for the again, like I was number one for something because I was a big achiever. And she had handed me the microphone to like say something because that would be what you would do. It'd be awkward if she didn't do that. And I was
yeah,
literally standing there going, like somebody captured this moment in time of me like standing at the front of a room full of 100 some people going, I don't know what to say. And I didn't
like
know
if
that. I
you're in
think it was because
that,
like I had no clue I was going to be number one. And so the idea of standing up there and having to say something that she's going to be okay that I said was like, can I actually
yeah,
just say nothing at all?
yeah, you're just frozen.
Absolutely frozen. Like there's literally a picture of me being so frozen.
Mm.
I know in that moment. And it was like constantly that. And so I think now I'm just like, oh my God, literally now I know there's just, first of all, I've been awesome with this all of my life. So your thoughts are your problem, but also just like, I absolutely trust myself to say something great.
Yeah, and now you can
Yeah.
feel that in your
Yeah.
body. Yeah.
Hands down. Hands down. Yeah. And it also, I thought that that was like I mean, I do think it was a little bit. I think it was like very much a hesitancy. And then now it's like allowing myself to go into like believing that people are safe, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, in those spaces. So that was awesome.
Well, thank you for
Thank you.
being so brave and doing this work in front of people, being so vulnerable.
Yeah, I
It
know,
helps
right?
people to understand what brain spotting is like because
Mhm.
it's hard to just, if you explain it to someone, it doesn't make sense.
I know. That's why
Especially
I'm glad we had the video.
experiencing it. Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I talk to people about it a lot and just say, I do say like, oh, have you ever heard of EMDR? And sometimes people are like, yes. And I can go, I feel like it's like EMDR on steroids. And it is so weird. I'm sure people are watching and going like, what do you mean? Like she had a pointer here and then she had a pointer there. And then all of a sudden she like merged the two pointers and suddenly, she just like magically feels better. But it's not like a woo woo. It is science. Like it is literally, right? Like it's some scientific.
It's how your eyes are connected to your brain, and where you're looking is affecting how you're feeling, and
Mhm,
it's connected to all the memories and emotions that are stored in your
mhm,
limbic system and your mammalian brain. It's all stored back in your lower region of your brain, subcortical, and in your body. And
mhm.
so again, we're bypassing that thinking brain
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
moving into where you can actually process and release
Yeah.
all the energy and emotions that are stored in your body. And my role again is just holding that space, guiding you to a spot. My role is not really to do a lot of talking. My role is to do more listening, because in fact, I don't want to push my perception or feelings about something onto a client. So
Mhm.
my job is to, you know, hold space for you and validate
Yeah.
your feelings, and
Yeah.
not really to speak my opinion about
Mhm.
something. So someone might also wonder, like, well, she stays so quiet the whole time. Like, why isn't she giving any information? But
Yeah.
that's not my role, because this is your life experience, and you want to
Mhm.
heal and process in a way that is true for you, not what's true for me.
Yeah. I
Because
do think the thing that you do so well, though, that I said to my husband is you're just, the moment I met you, I knew that I could, like anything that I would say would be okay.
oh,
You know, like the energy that you always bring to the space and just who you are is so like accepting, and nothing is bad and nothing is wrong and nothing is, nothing could ever be shameful.
well, thank
Yeah.
you.
So I think that also has a lot to do, because like you can feel that. Like you can feel,
Yeah.
yeah.
Who you feel safe with.
Yeah, what someone
Yeah.
brings in, and I think that you're just such like an easy person to feel safe with. Okay, so if people are watching this, how is it best to book an appointment with you? Could they,
Um,
yeah,
Probably you can message me through Instagram
mhm,
or email
yeah,
or text messages.
yeah. We'll put
Um,
all that, we'll put all that
information.
goodness
Yeah.
in show notes so that way people can reach out and can book an appointment with you.
Yeah.
And
Or
so
my website. My website gives more information
yeah,
about
yeah,
um,
go to your website and then
the
you can,
brain spotting and
yeah, all of that. So then, and I feel like this is a common question. People go, so what should I expect? Like one appointment, 10 appointments, like it kind of varies, right? I feel like
yeah.
I've always had 1 to 2 appointments per mental challenge.
You've always had so far you've typically done one. This one is a
Yeah.
little more complex for you. So this we
Yeah.
kind of moved into 2 appointments because when we went to another spot, it kind of opened up more.
Yeah. This was my first merging thing.
Yeah, this is the first time we did expansion.
Yes.
It depends on how complex the
Hmm.
situation is. So, like a
Okay.
major, like a big T trauma, like we talked about, like I was bit by a dog or I was held up by gunpoint, something that's just like a big
Yeah.
T trauma, that can typically be cleared in one session.
Yeah.
If something is more complex, it might take 1 to 3 sessions. But even then, I've had some people who have, worked through something in 20 minutes where they're like, okay, it's gone. And are you sure? Yep, I feel completely at peace. And I'm like, it's only 20 minutes. And they're like, no, I'm good. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
I believe that though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Is it
know,
different personalities or is it different levels of
well,
issue?
and it could be that same person another time might have an hour and a half session where it takes longer. So it
Mm,
just depends on the
right.
person, but also what they're working on. So
Absolutely.
it's not always the same.
Yeah. And like how deep it is or
But it's never like, going to therapy for years and still.
no.
So it's
No.
very deep and very rapid and lasting healing.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, now that you were saying that, I remember I, before I was starting my podcast, so we had that teenager that lived with us for a couple of years, and it was
Yes.
my husband's former friend, which is probably where I got a little bit of my apprehension about being honest and open
Yeah.
with people. I forgot it was that because when, crap hit the fan, he criticized that I shared my entire life on social media. And so it was really holding me back
Yes, I
from
remember.
putting myself out there. I forgot all about that. I was like, gosh, man, what was that about? That I really wouldn't let myself just go full send on starting a podcast and putting my whole world back out there again.
And
I forgot.
you're right.
Yeah. But there it was like another critical person who, yeah, yeah, it was that criticism thing. So I think that little blip was like it was like an extension. It was like a branch on the tree, but this was
Yeah.
like the root. Like this was the big giant root thing was that childhood thing of like if you don't show up the way that they require you to show up. Like what did I write? In order to get what and where I want, someone else has to approve that I am good.
Yes.
Like that's what that little childhood thing, like that was like the root of all of that.
Right.
Was in order to get what and where I want, someone else has to approve that I'm good. And I mean, geez, I guess now I'm like, don't put yourself in that situation. You know what I mean? Like if you're in a place where somebody is like, you can't get to where you want because you have to wait for this person to approve for you, like that's probably just not a good situation for me.
Well, and you could also question what is it within me that needs to be healed because I feel like I need this other person's permission.
Well, I did literally need her permission. Literally.
Literally. To keep your job,
To promote my job,
to promote your job.
to get to the next spot.
Yes. But here's also the
I
thing.
keep hitting my mic.
You
People are gonna be
could,
like, yeah.
here's another thing with that. You could know that, but
Mhm.
not be emotionally affected by it and still
Oh,
do
so you're
it.
saying like I'm over fixating on it, which is like creating the problem.
So you were affected by whatever she's saying and doing and you were triggered into that childlike part, causing you to live in survival mode. However, if
Oh,
that part of you was not wounded, you could notice, just like you're saying you did with your boyfriend, like this is
yeah.
all about them, but I do want this job, so I will do what I need to do to keep my job, but I won't be emotionally affected by it. I won't have this emotional arousal or experience this state of freeze. Does that make sense?
Yes, because it was the childhood moment that made it such a big deal, and then
Right.
make me probably not even act like myself.
Exactly. Your nervous system, all it needs is a little bit of flavoring of something similar to cause you to shift and tap to that survival mode, to try and keep you safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and I had just been fired a year before.
So there's another fear of, I
Yeah,
can't lose.
like this was October 2011, and I literally got fired July 2010. Like, it was fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. There we go. Okay. Incredible. This is why I just love all your stuff, and this is why I actually continue to send everyone to you. I'm so glad that we could get a recording of it, just because I think that people, yeah, I think people, some, me, I'm just going to throw myself in and tell people like, just do it, just trust me, and people that trust me will just do it.
Yeah.
But then I think some people need to see it, and then that,
Yeah.
So I'm glad we could do that. And it really is that simple, guys. It's so incredible. It's so amazing. And again, love talk therapy, but I love this too. When you're just like, oh my gosh, I don't want to talk about it anymore. Because I do
Right.
feel like I talked about it so much, but that it's almost like the little trauma lesions were still there in my brain, and I just wanted to get rid of them.
Right.
I was over them. So
I'm proud of you.
cool. Thank you.
Hey.
All right, All Things Excellence fam, to book an appointment, head to the show notes, head to our website, research more about it. Thank you so much. When I start creating really cool, fun events, this is gonna be cool, This will be neat. I guess this is kind of fun that we did this because
Yeah.
now it will live forever on the internet about how I was afraid to, own the room with Mike, and then
Something you could look back on.
I know, and people will look back at this forever and be like, I don't believe you. And I'll be like, there's video evidence. Go to the internet,
Yeah. That's cool.
So that was cool. I prayed and prayed and prayed over like what we would talk about. So I'm so grateful that it ended up being that. So, all right. Well, thank you again for joining. All right, All Things Excellence fam. We'll talk to you all next time.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to All Things Excellence. If something landed with you today, I'd love for you to follow the show, share it with a friend, or leave a quick review. It helps more women find these transformational conversations. And if you're ready for support with your next step, or needing someone to stand in the gap with you to figure out what that even is, I'd love to create that space for you. And my intro clarity call is a great place to start, because life is too quick and too full to have to figure it out alone. Until next time, All Things Excellence fam, thank you for listening.